I don't care if you've been posting helicopter dick pics for that PS5 all night. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and the Black Times Infinity. I'm your host, Cthulhu's about to come to you live and direct from the stack. Smoke me out, fam, with that dang shit on my left stick.
I think Mario is actually a part of the Donkey Kong universe.
Damn, okay. On my far right, engineering on the ones and twos, dunk people out of the streets, of course, Kronos.
It's a PSA. Nobody black is gonna commit suicide via news from a random ass fucking tree in 2020.
We get into it. Last but not least, we got the oldest ninja in the world of ninja.
Coming to a neighborhood near you, Rona 2. Beware.
Love it, love it. Kronos, you usually let us know about some kind of listener of the week.
Yes, I will. Listener of the week would be user 693-77475. Thank you very much, random person.
Right on.
We appreciate it. We thankful.
You're a real one.
Yeah. Whomstead if ever you are. And first in the chat with Jason. What's going on, Jason? Good to see you back in the chat. I know you're a hardworking man. And you got a complete family now with kid. So thanks for taking part of your day out to watch us live. We appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. That's what's up. Old Ninja, you usually pouring out some type of urban beverage. What we doing this week?
Some Schlitz. Pouring out some Schlitz malt liquor for writer and editor Danny O'Neil. He was a pioneer in the comics world. In the 60s, he wrote for Stranger Tales featuring Doctor Strange and the X-Men. In the late 60s, he wrote for DC Comics. He worked on the Green Lantern Green Arrow run, which is a popular run. He introduced a storyline where Green Arrow's Speedy, he had heroin. That was him. He also wrote Justice League Batman right when the TV show ended. He moved away from the campy TV show stuff to make more of the brooding Dark Knight, and he wrote for Wonder Woman. He introduced where Wonder Woman lost her powers and was exiled and then entered civilian life. And then he also co-wrote the Superman versus Muhammad Ali comic, which was like
awesome.
a bestseller back. Yeah, it was a bestseller back in the day. And then in the 80s, he wrote for Marvel. He worked on Amazing Spider-Man when Spider-Man was with Doctor Strange. He also wrote for Daredevil and Iron Man, making Tony Stark an alcoholic again. So O'Neil is credited for, get ready for this, on the DC side, Ra's al Ghul with Neil Adams, Talia al Ghul with Bob Brown, Leslie Tompkins with Dick Giordano, made famous by actress Marina Barkarian, and Azrael with Joe Quesada. And then on the Marvel side, he was credited with Madam Web and Hydro-Man with John Romano Jr., Obadiah Stane, and the Ironmonger. He made James Rhodes Iron Man. He created the Silver Centurion armor. During his Daredevil run, he created Ukiro Oyama, a.k.a. Lady Deathstrike. And then finally, before they moved to IDW, Transformers was a Marvel property, and O'Neil is credited for naming Optimus Prime. He passed away on June 11th at the age of 81.
It's kind of funny how he's credited for naming a toy that was based in Japan.
Mm.
It's
You're talking about Optimus?
Yeah, Optimus, obviously. Yeah. But I mean, obviously he needed a name, because if y'all didn't know,
he did need a name.
The Transformers were just like some random ass toy line in Japan, and that like saved the whole company, was making the Transformers into a show that we all loved in the 80s, 90s, and still today. I'm not going to say all those decades.
There you go.
I've been alive for too long, apparently. Anyway.
There you go. I give him props for also introducing Talia al Ghul, who by today's standards would be known as a date rapist for what she did to Batman.
Well, yeah, you roofie somebody and then take his seed.
Yeah,
and then have his kid, and then drop off the kid 10 years later. Be like, here you go, here's your kid. I'm out.
That's the worst baby mama ever. Raping you, and then dropping a kid off at age 10. Be like, here, yours now. Goodbye. What the fuck?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Horrible.
Talia al Ghul, rapist. R.I.P. R.I.P. to Danny O'Neil. You got another one, Old Ninja?
No. Or do not?
Well, there is one.
Am I missing one?
Yes, there's.
Oh, well, there's one that. So there's one that y'all are going to talk about in depth. So
We are because me and Stitch were on the same page. Originally, now me and him might diverge a little bit, only because I have some different information that came out recently. It's Rayshard Brooks, and I think that we're still mainly on the same page. I think the only thing that diverges is what happened after what I watched and he watched as well, because there was different footage that came up.
Before you guys start, I just want to let you know there's been people that have been asking, I think all of us, because I know me personally, there's been people asking about what are our thoughts on this situation. Truth be told, I've been kind of staying away from this because I didn't watch any of the camera feeds or the video, and I've been staying away from some of the articles. I've just been hearing some back and forth, so y'all speak on this, and then I'll chime in on questions, because I think Kronos and Stitch are the only two that have been following this very, very closely.
Yeah, and this is gonna come deeper with Stitch, even though I know where he's gonna come from, and everything he's gonna say is gonna be super valid. And what it happens on the end, it's still like what they're getting charged with is the officers that Well, it's just all that Stitch set it up. Set up what happened with Rayshard Brooks. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, and I hate when I do that shit. So go ahead and set up what happened with Rayshard Brooks for the beginning part, and then I'll fill in the part at the end where I think you didn't watch. So, and I didn't watch until like today.
We'll get to that the today information on it. But I believe this incident took place possibly Friday over the weekend. But in Atlanta, Georgia, there was a call for the police from a person. I don't know if it was a person that actually worked at the Wendy's, but there was a person who was passed out at the wheel of their vehicle in a Wendy's drive-thru parking lot. As the incident progressed, there was a struggle. An officer's taser was taken from him, and the person, Rayshard Brooks, was shot and killed. That's just a quick summary of the incident. As we found out more details about it, and I'll go into more of my opinion about the incident, but I'll just stick with just basically on the facts from what we know. The officers encountered the vehicle in the drive-thru. There's body camera footage of this. At first, it was sort of like cell phone camera footage, but they released the body camera footage, so you get to see the entire. It's almost like an hour-long, 45-minute-long course of events. From when they knock on his window and everything several times, trying to wake him up. He's passed out at the wheel and everything. Based on how I perceived it, the officer was extremely friendly to him, cordial, respectful, and everything. Asked him to pull the car over. They engage in conversation. Both sides are treating each other, as far as I'm concerned, perfectly normal. He gives him some field sobriety tests, having to stand on a leg, gives him a sort of like a mini breathalyzer thing, and eventually it calls for his partner. So we have two cops there that eventually get on scene. The officer decides to make the judgment that he's going to place Mr. Brooks under arrest for suspicion of driving under the influence. Mr. Brooks turns around, puts his hand behind his back, and as he starts to cuff him and everything, that's when everything goes left. They end up fighting, wrestling, because Mr. Brooks decides to resist or wants to get away. He doesn't want to be arrested. Punches are thrown between both officers and Mr. Brooks. During the course of it, one of the officers pulls out his taser to try to tase Brooks while they're wrestling around. Brooks is able to grab one of the tasers from the individual, get up, and take off running through the parking lot. Another officer, and I don't have the officers' names offhand, but one of the officers proceeds to chase after him after a short foot chase, maybe 15, 20 yards, it looks like, that they're running through this parking lot. Brooks turns with the taser in hand and fires the taser. Then the officer and I'm a little bit, I haven't seen a high def version of it because it switches from body camera to the Wendy's footage showing the foot pursuit. I can't tell if the officer, after the taser is fired, if he pulls out his gun then shoots, or if he had his gun out already when the taser was shot at him. Hits Mr. Brooks twice in the back, and Mr. Brooks succumbs to his injury. As we found out later today, which we'll get into, I didn't see the video, but Lilo told me that there was video footage saying that the officer was standing on Mr. Brooks and that he, I guess, kicked him or was kicking him after he shot him.
Kicked him in the head.
Yeah. I can't speak on what I have not seen yet. I asked one of our friends that we kind of talked about online if he could send me like a link to it. And I saw the link that he sent me didn't show videos. I saw a still footage, like a still screenshot of what could be interpreted as a I guess maybe a kick. But I need to see the video. They always say like a picture is worth 1,000 words. But when we have this entire incident on video, I need to see the actual video of the kick and him standing on him or not rendering aid and just purposely, I guess, letting him die as other people are claiming. So I don't want to get too much into that because I haven't seen it with my own eyes, and I want to reserve my right to change my opinion on how maybe the officers could handle the situation if once I do see that. Yeah. But go ahead with your thoughts on that first, and I'll go ahead with mine afterwards.
Yeah. So in the everything in the beginning that you said, like to me it was. I can understand the justification, so they're gonna have a hard time in court until I saw what I saw today, which is what they're really getting hit with. But anyway, what Stitch was saying is totally accurate. You know, like the guy shooting over his shoulder to try to tase an officer. The other officer actually tried to tase him first before shooting him, and so for me, they tried to use non-lethal means first, and then once the guy didn't go down, then he shot him because he has a police equipment that can be when people. This is what bothers me. People don't understand that. People think that tasers are non-lethal, and generally speaking, you're right. They're non-lethal if you are trained on how to use a taser. Because if you're shooting a taser, you're trying to hit like a certain spot on their body, and it's to like basically intersect their midsection, right? Or their main trunk.
Torso.
Yeah, torso. Yeah, it's to basically get a good shot out of them, right? But if you shoot it and you don't know where the leads are going to go and you hit somebody in the fucking face, there's a chance that they could die from getting shot in the face with a taser because obviously your brain runs on electrical currents, and if you hit somebody in the face with that shit or the eye or anything that's in the facial region, you can fucking kill them. So what I can't stand right now is that I'm watching some of these news networks and saying that, oh, well, tasers are supposed to be non-lethal. Yeah, they're non-lethal if you're trained on them. If I take a taser and tase you in the fucking face, you're going to get fucked up. Like, and there's... nobody should be arguing that. You're going to get fucked up if I tase you in the face. So, hitting somebody in the torso...
Or blinded. I don't want to jump in and... People keep forgetting that, like, if you get hit... The probes don't attach themselves with Velcro.
Yeah, no, they're barbs. Yeah.
They are barbed probes that interject into your skin, in theory. That's how they're supposed to react and everything. And like you said before, you're supposed to aim at the torso. Somebody that is not trained or has no desire to properly use the taser and let's say just aims it at somebody's face, that's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Highly, highly bad. If it gets in your eyes, not only are you going to have a sharp needle shot at your eyeball at 26,000 feet per second, but after it attaches to your eyeball, now you have several thousand volts worth of electricity running through your eyeball.
Yeah,
and you're going to be blind. Yeah, there goes your vision for your life. So people that are saying like, oh, well, it's non-lethal and everything, like there are different levels. It's great bodily injury is also a reason to use deadly force for the vast majority of departments. And if you're doing something that will result in great bodily injury to another person or an officer, like something that would blind them, like if I had a jar full of acid, throw it on Prodigy's face, yeah, it won't kill him, but it will cause great bodily injury, and I don't want any part of that, so he probably deserves to be shot.
Yeah, and this is like something else that most people that are non-law enforcement or in the military don't seem to that don't enter their mind, is that, so first,
wait,
go ahead.
Really quick, are you saying that Prodigy deserves to be shot, Stitch? I wasn't clear.
Well, he does. I mean, we all know this.
Okay, I'll just say.
He knows what he did.
Yeah, he knows what he
We're
did.
doing
He knows what he did.
Come on.
We're doing Zuckerberg's good work.
anyway, what most people like are not in law enforcement or in the military. Listen, if you take a weapon off of somebody and like off of somebody and they start a weapon and they use it against you, and especially even if it's non-lethal, like what happens if this is the worst case scenario that probably both officers are thinking about. So they try to arrest the guy breaks away, they get into a tussle, he steals one of his weapons, which it is a weapon, it's non-lethal, yes, I get that, but he tries to run away, but as he runs away, he turns back and tries to shoot him with a non-lethal weapon that will incapacitate him for at least 10 seconds. Oh, I'm sorry, at least 5 seconds. Alright? So if he incapacitates one officer for 5 seconds, he can easily take a lethal weapon off that officer. So, from my aspect, I was like, okay, I understand where they had to use lethal force because he already stole a weapon off an officer and tried to use it against him. Alright? And the officer tried to tase him to get him down, but it didn't work, so the only other thing he had to do, he has police equipment, that's a weapon, and then he shot him. So from that aspect I can kinda understand why he used lethal force. However, the part that came out afterwards, which I didn't see until today, was that after he got shot, so people are listening to this, you might not know that if a police officer shoots you and mortally injures you, they are duty bound to at least administer aid to you. Alright, that's one of the things that you're supposed to do, right, Stitch? You can...
Yeah. Yes. That's the simple answer, yes.
Yeah. So, if you don't do that, there's a problem there. You're breaking your oath as a police officer. Alright, and so that's one of the main things they're getting fucked with. At least, especially, they both are getting fucked with that by breaking their oaths. But the other thing is that not only did they not attempt to administer aid, one officer decided to kick the guy in the head, and then they both decided to stand on the guy. But they should have been administering aid to a man that was dying. He was obviously incapacitated at the time he got shot, and they needed to at least attempt to administer aid. I think that's one of the things. So in the military, from my aspect, we're not duty bound to do that. We can do that. If somebody's injured, we're not duty bound, but we should attempt to save their lives. We don't have to. We're not protect and serve. But with the police, it's protect and serve. So if you mortally injure somebody, you're supposed to attempt to save them. But they didn't do that at all. And I think, and the fact that they kicked him in the head after he was already down and shot, that's where they got kind of fucked. And that's where I was like, oh, okay, well I can see now why that they're arresting at least the one guy, because he shot him a couple times, then he kicked him in the head, and then he decided to stand on him. And I'm just like, he's not doing his duty as a police officer from the way that I've read. Go ahead.
Can I get in here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I get in? Yeah. I like the summary, and I love this perspective from both of you guys, Kronos and Stitch. I haven't followed this probably as closely, but I've certainly seen a whole bunch of videos and a lot of reports on it. I'm going to take from this perspective. You got to be smarter. If you're having an interaction as a black male with the police department, and you're going to wrestle cops and take away tasers and point tasers at cops, we've talked about it several times on the show. I'm not going to split hairs on this one.
And he vanished.
Oh shit, he dropped. All right, he'll come back. I already know what he's gonna say. I already know what he's gonna say. But yeah, the guy, he fucked up because he was gonna get a DUI, is what it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because he blew over the limit, and he was gonna get a DUI. I mean,
he would have gone to jail for a few hours.
Yeah. All right, hold on. He's back. Go ahead, Prodigy.
Okay. So sorry, but I was just saying, you pointing a weapon at a cop is you committing suicide, and if you, especially as a black man, don't understand that, I'm sorry, but I'm going to question your fucking intelligence.
Okay.
I'm going to question everything about you.
Real quick, Prodigy, because I want people to... So, some people that heard what you just said might get really fucking mad about it, but what you said is totally true. Especially, being an Afro-American male. I don't think nobody should have done what he did. The problem is should it have cost him his life? And that's where, like, you know, the kind of gray area comes into, and that's what, you know, both me and Stitch are talking about. But yeah, I mean, definitely don't. Like, he was drunk in his car. He fell asleep in a fucking drive-through.
Luckily, it was a drive-through.
Yeah, and he was gonna live that night. He was just gonna take him to jail, and he decided to try to fight the cop. But it shouldn't have cost him his fucking life. I get that, but he should not have fought against the police and tried to use their weapons against them.
This is not. I just want to be really clear, because I don't care who gets upset or who doesn't. They can all, you know, we can all certainly have a civil conversation. But this is not the same situation as the jogger in Georgia.
No,
this is not the same situation
100%.
as George Floyd. This is not someone who's unarmed and hasn't wrestled with cops and hasn't pointed a weapon at cops. This is not Oscar Grant. This is a very different situation for me. I want to be very clear and crystal consistent with what I've said before. You pointing a firearm, even a non-lethal one, at an officer is you committing suicide. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel. I think it's sad. I do question your mental capacity if you thought that was an idea that was going to result in you successfully living through the night.
We've talked about this many times before, years ago previously, about how it's unfortunate that we need to have the conversation with our young black sons and children and everything about our interactions with the police, and not to do anything that could be perceived as a possible threat where we might not go home at the end of the night. This was a 27-year-old man who decided to, for some reason, escalate the situation. He escalated the situation. There's no question about that. Miss me with this whole, like, oh, we could have just let him go, and what was the point in chasing after him? Ignoring the fact that he assaulted two officers. So we have a possible misdemeanor for the DUI. We have 2 felonies for punching and fighting a cop. You have robbery because you stole the fucking taser from the cop, so that's a felony. And then you fired the weapon at the cop. So you have 4 felonies, and then 1 misdemeanor. And we're just talking about, oh, let him go. We know where he lives and everything. And now he's running. He still has the weapon, and we're just gonna let him just run away. Obviously, this person has made a clear, conscious decision in his mind that his freedom is more important than his safety or other people's safety at this time. And it's fucking ridiculous. I conducted an experiment myself. So I plugged in Grand Theft Auto, and I decided to just, with my character, I walked to the Los Santos Police Department, didn't have a gun in my hand, and I just walked up to random cops and just started punching them. And I immediately got 3 stars. And maybe Old Ninja can look up how many copies Grand Theft Auto has sold, but I'm sure we all know on what you can and cannot do in real life, let alone Grand Theft Auto. And it pisses me off that, and I heard someone describe this as selling wolf tickets, and I thought it was a really cool analogy. And I guess it goes back to, like, the boy who cried wolf. But like you said, all these scenarios are not the same. And I think it's unfortunate, and it's going to have people community when we start trying to reference incidents that are not clear-cut police brutality. I don't think this was police brutality.
Well, it's just the only thing I have a problem with is after the fact. I mean, obviously, everything leading up, to me, obviously, I agree with your sentiments, but what happened after the fact, and they didn't try to, save this guy, and then stand on him and kick him in the head, that was a problem. I know you haven't seen it, but I have.
Yeah.
So I'll send you the shit that I've seen, probably tomorrow morning, because I gotta edit the podcast after this is done, but that's not the way you treat a human being. After you've obviously already mortally wounded him, and that's where they're going to get in trouble.
Yeah, this is not George Floyd. Even if you go on the main incidents, Floyd, Arbery, and Breonna Taylor, those are 3 separate incidents that are all unique in their own set in mind. I don't think the Breonna Taylor thing is going to get charged. People are talking about arresting the officers that killed Breonna Taylor, and I don't think legally you're going to be able to do that.
Well, and that's that's to me, that's fucking bullshit.
That's a
Breonna
mistake.
Taylor. Yeah, because listen, I understand, cops trying to do their job and blah 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 blah, but if you just run up at somebody's home and kill them in their sleep, and there's no consequences, what the fuck? That's some 1984 shit. Seriously, you should not be able to do that in this country in 2020. There needs to be consequences for that.
Well, I want to just make sure that people don't just assume that, I think there was no wrong in that situation. From what I've understood from the situation is they got shitty intel in terms of this is the house where that person is supposed to be at, and etc. And so it was fucked up from the entire planning of that situation. So whoever the sergeant was, or the squad leader that decided we're going to execute this warrant, they fucked up. And I just think that you might be able to speak on this from maybe a military aspect of it, but let's say you were performing some sort of infantry type raid on somebody's house, and all of a sudden you bust in a house, you think it's a high value target or something like that, and they return fire, you end up shooting a person, and you find out it was just a teenage kid that we're at the wrong house, and we got shitty intel. Yeah, it's a fucked up situation. I don't think those officers went in with the intent or malice to be we're going to kill this girl and kill these innocent people. Whoever made that decision, they have to lose their job. But I don't think you can intentionally charge them with murder on a situation that to me seems like just a horrible planning and accident.
Yeah, well, okay. So this is
what about manslaughter?
Yeah, this is the problem that I have with these kinds of incidents. It's it was a mistake, but it's listen, these mistakes cost a human being their life, and there needs to be consequences. I don't really give a shit about. I don't know how to put it in a more succinct way, but it's there needs to be consequences for ending somebody's life that had nothing to do with the situation whatsoever. You know what I mean? If civilians, if you randomly shoot somebody, as a civilian, there are consequences. But all of a sudden, because you're a cop and you have this fucking crazy ass immunity, and you can walk away from this shit with scot free, that's fucking bullshit. I think that what do they call it? Stitch, please help me out with the phrase that it's called. It's something immunity. Qualified immunity. Qualified immunity. It needs to be either eroded or totally eliminated, because it gives police officers or law enforcement people just in general this really strange above the law thing. And I totally understand that in your duties you're at some point in time you may have to take somebody's life, but it needs to be justified. But when you have qualified immunity, the problem is that qualified immunity is protecting people from accidentally and purposefully killing people that have done nothing wrong, and they need to face the same exact consequences as somebody else that accidentally killed somebody. It needs to be the exact same fucking consequence. Because sorry, just to further for me to explain, because the person that is on law enforcement, they're supposed to be fucking professionals first of all, and they should know what the fuck they're doing. Mm-hmm. All right, so they should know way better than a normal civilian the consequences for shooting a firearm, knowing where the fuck the bullet's gonna go, and understanding what their intended target is. And the fact that we lowered the standard for murder or potential murder or taking human life for somebody that's supposed to be a law enforcement professional that knows all the consequences to drawing a firearm and shooting a firearm, it's fucking ridiculous to me. When you take firearm training, what are the rules? You know the rules, right?
Yeah, you gotta know your target, know what's beyond your target.
Yeah.
Treat your firearms like it's.
If you throw that shit out the fucking window, there should be consequences. If you start shooting randomly, and this also comes back to when civilians tell me, "Oh well, maybe you should have just shot him in the fucking leg." No, the fuck you shouldn't. Oh my God. All right, stop. Everybody's listening to me right now. Shooting somebody in the leg is stupid as fuck. All right. First of all, legs move pretty fucking fast when they're running away. Second of all, it's a smaller target. Third of all, it can go through the fucking target into somebody else, and you're putting other lives in danger. So please stop talking about shoot him in the fucking leg. Go shoot a fucking gun, and then go try to shoot a fucking bird with with a handgun. Shoot any fucking bird that's flying away with a handgun. See how difficult that shit is. All right, so just fucking stop. You need it. We are all trained to shoot center mass, unless you're a Marine like me. Like we're taught one shot, one kill. So my one shot is supposed to fucking kill you immediately with the least amount of pain as possible. All right, it's none of that bullshit about shooting them in the leg or injuring them, blah, blah, blah. That's not the point of shooting somebody. You shoot somebody to end their life. You don't shoot somebody to fucking injure them. So I'll leave my rant at that.
Yeah. From what I had heard about the Taylor incident was that the police conducted a no-knock warrant, which is problematic in itself. Which for those that don't know, no-knock means that the police just boom kick in the door and they just run in and start screaming, "Get on the floor," and try to arrest you. My understanding, Taylor's boyfriend, who I guess was sleeping over, heard the door get kicked in and thought that the house was being robbed. Makes sense to me and everything, and I would be like, oh fuck, somebody's trying to rob our house. Obviously, it's no one's knocking at it. We're getting home invaded on. So yeah, that person is entitled to have a firearm and to protect what he feels is his life. So he starts firing at the people walking through the door and busting through the door. The cops, ignorantly, because of poor intel, were at the wrong house or had the wrong person, and they start shooting back because they don't realize that they're in the wrong house. So the police caused that shitty situation with poor intel. I don't want to say the cops didn't just start shooting and executing, because what I've read, I guess Taylor's boyfriend shot first, but he should have shot because he thought somebody was breaking in his fucking house and trying to harm or kill him and his girl. So whoever planned that should be fired. I just put myself in that situation, like if I was on that like 4-man entry team and I'm second through the door and my sergeant's telling me, oh yeah, this is the house, we're gonna hit it, blah blah blah, and we go hit the door and we're getting shot at as soon as we walk in, I'm gonna return fire. Yeah. And I feel that it's unfair to charge the officers that were put in the situation that didn't have the intel, knowing that we're at the wrong house. So whoever planned that, their head needs to be on a platter, and I don't want to put the rest of the people who are there on that one. Then that's just the Taylor incident.
Yeah, well, sorry, man. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, Prodigy.
Well, I was just gonna say we're spiraling down into Breonna Taylor, even though it's a very important case. But are we done with Brooks?
Brooks, I think the charges I think the charges are bullshit, and I think they made a business decision. I reserve the right to change my opinion once I see what Chrono saw today and everything. So I don't want to put it in stone. I think it was a business decision by the Atlanta mayor to try to prevent a angry situation from going out of control in that community.
Yeah.
The police chief resigned immediately and was just like, "Yo, I'm not dealing with this." And it seemed like the mayor was the one that decided that they were going to charge these people and hit them with 11 charges worth of stuff, which
ain't gonna stick.
Like a lot.
Yeah.
You already have 2 Supreme Court cases that are going to go against that, Graham versus Connor and then Tennessee versus Garner, that pretty much give this guy the reason to do what he did and everything. But I don't think it's going to stick, and people are going to be mad in a year or two.
Yeah, I mean, even what I said about, what happened afterwards, it's still leading up to me, I can see definite justification on what happened, because they tried to use non-lethal means, it didn't work, and they decided to shoot him. And you can't have some guy running around with police equipment, running from a DUI like that. I mean, that's a public safety problem, and it's unfortunate the guy had to lose his life, but throwing all these charges, like Stitch talked about, I think a couple weeks ago, like they're gonna overcharge at least one officer, and half of that shit ain't gonna stick. Probably more than half ain't gonna stick. I don't think the guy's gonna see any fucking jail time, like at all, because I mean they're charging him with all this stuff, and it's just like, and
then you're gonna have to pay a lawsuit afterwards.
Yeah, I mean the officer got assaulted while trying to arrest, Rayshawn, or is that how you say his name?
Rayshard, I think.
Rayshard, yeah. He got assaulted. He had, his weapon stolen from him, and then he had his weapon attempted to use on the other officer, and the officer tried to non-lethal means pacify him. It didn't work, and then what else does he have to use? You know what I mean? Like you don't know what the fuck he's gonna do after that. I mean, honestly.
Can I ask a quick question just to make sure I'm on the same page? I don't know the answer to this. The answer to this is going to probably sway some of my own opinions that are as ill-informed as they can be. Is it against any type of regulations to shoot somebody in the back? And I kind of need an up or down, yes or no on that.
So it depends on it depends on where you are. Yeah.
So, but I guess then the answer is it's not against regulations in all circumstances.
No.
Shooting someone in the back is a catchy phrase, because essentially if I turn, I can put my arm behind you right now and look at you and fire my gun. And if you are returning fire, yeah, you're going to hit me in the back. So everyone puts that phrase out, oh yeah, the person got shot in the back. That doesn't mean that he wasn't a threat. You don't have to be facing someone with your torso to shoot somebody.
I just wanted to make sure I was on the same page with, if there's nothing prohibiting that as a blanket kind of layman's policy, then that helps me better understand things.
Yeah, it's gonna.
The Supreme Court.
Go ahead.
The Supreme Court case of Tennessee versus Gardner completely explains that, in terms of like your fleeing felon and being able to shoot somebody in the back when they pose a threat to public safety and you have a reasonable suspicion that they are going to cause public health, public safety damage and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, basically,
that's fair.
They had a guy who they knew was over the limit for driving, and he decided to go on some crazy like mini rampage against his officers when he was clearly in the wrong. You know, I wish he would have just been arrested, you know, and just got his DUI. He would have lived. You know, he didn't have to run from the officers. He didn't have to fight with them. He didn't have to, you know, steal a fucking taser and to shoot back. There's a lot of things that he fucked up, and to me, I can understand the justification on shooting the guy for everything I've already said. I'm not going to repeat it again. People might disagree. I mean, would I have tried to like catch up with him and like use non-lethal means? Yes. However, the guy's still holding a fucking taser. You know what I mean? So if I run up to the guy with my firearms on me and he happens to fucking out-grapple me and tase me, then guess what he's got next? My fucking gun. Because he's got the taser. Like, that's what I think. I don't think people even understand that. Like, if you're a police officer, you have multiple weapons on you. And so as soon as you try to engage him again, and he has your non-lethal but disabling means to disable you, and what's he gonna do next? You don't fucking know. So I don't think that this is gonna go the direction that people are hoping that it's gonna go. And this is just me being honest as somebody that, you know, has shot a lot of firearms and knows a lot about like just like escalation of force. You know, they used escalation of force on this guy. They tried, and you know, I don't know. I hope that it's not going to get super crazy over what happened. I really don't. But I also wish that he didn't have to fucking die. You know, I wish he was still alive today.
I don't wish death on anybody, but at the same time, I need just black men who are having interactions with police to be way more aware and more intelligent with decisions. And I hate to see us make shit decisions. Yeah. I really do.
Well, and let me highlight what Prodigy's talking about, that he's not saying is that there are plenty of videos of, you know, European Americans, Caucasians, however the fuck you want to say. I'm trying to use the PC fucking term for white people, all right? Because you're not white. It's like I'm not fucking black, all right? Your skin's not white, you're just fucking pale. I'm not black, I'm brown. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to use the PC version. So just, when I say Caucasians are European American, I mean white people. I'm just trying to say it in a fucking PC way. All right? There's been plenty of fucking videos out there of people that are European Americans that get out there with firearms that are loaded, talking shit to police and like pushing them around, talking all this shit, and guess what? They fucking live. However, I mean, they're not drunk and they're not fighting the police. So there's that as well. I get that, but there's been plenty of other videos that we see that were like people that are not brown live from this kind of shit. Even like videos that where they are drunk and they get in fights with cops and they run away. They fucking live. So I totally understand that part of the conversation. You know, and it's fucked up and it's true. But I mean, we got to get back to what Prodigy said. Listen, if you're a person of color, you can't be out there doing that shit. And yeah, it's wrong. Totally agree. But you know, if it's a public safety issue, you know, I understand that part as well. It's just America right now is fucked up.
You're not going to get any benefit of the doubt. We all know that.
No.
But I do want to say that this. Let's pause on this. We had to give people their vegetables first. We had to talk about the real stuff. But we got some geek shit to get into, y'all. Come on now. You know it.
Yeah.
Yes.
On Thursday.
Yeah, I want Corey to get real. I'm sorry. I want Old Ninja to get real close to the camera because I want to see his sadness.
I want to see his tears.
Wait.
Hold on. He needs a high risk. You need a high res camera, bro. You're on the Xbox camera right now. You're all low res shit. Bro, you look like you're stuck in fucking 1997 with that fucking camera, bro. I'm just saying.
Oh my god. Hey, I'm not using my phone like the rest of them.
Thursday. We all knew what was happening. We even mentioned it last week on the cast that on Thursday, Sony. All the rumors indicated Sony was going to finally do the PS5 reveal that we've been waiting for so fucking patiently. And it fucking arrived. I know we're going to get into it, but holy shit, this was a very robust presentation of their game. It missed a lot of key factors. Like one of the things that we predicted on what the price was going to be was missing. They purposely left that the fuck out. But what did you guys think? Let's first start with the console itself, and then I know we're going to dive down into the games. Start with Stitch. What you got on the console? The digital, and then the disc version too.
Hold on. Let's start with Old Ninja because he hasn't been talking for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to hear his sadness.
Yeah, let's hear your tears.
There's no sadness. I mean, I got to keep it real with you, Chief. Both the X Series X and the PS5, they both have uninspired designs, in my opinion. I think they both look like shit. And I just think, I mean, the PS5 looks like a 1997 Netgear router, and the fucking Xbox Series X looks like a fucking mini fridge. I'm like, dude, who designed this shit? Like, what the fuck is this shit about? To me, I feel like back in the 90s they did better shit what would look like probably today.
So that better shit that would look like whatever leaded to Red Rings of Death and ROHS led errors with the PS4 with like shit melting. So both consoles have learned from their mistakes. They're like, hey, let's actually take a deep dive on actual cooling on these fucking devices. I think
so. That's an aspect of cooling, but aesthetic design alone, just aesthetics alone, they just don't look good.
Yeah, so the aesthetics I'm not really concerned about. That's what I said from the literally the PS5 could be shaped like a fucking a literal
dildo?
Piece of shit. Yeah, it could be a dildo. I don't give a fuck. Like it could be shaped like a dick, and I'd still fucking buy it. The thing is that it's literally so we're at what 7 nanometers now for the CPUs, and like the amount of energy and heat that is being dissipated. The reason why, if you're watching both consoles and you're wondering why are they both standing up? It's their fucking heat dissipation because there's thermodynamics, right? So all of these consoles are generating a shitload of heat because of the amount of power and just overall just like energy that they're using, and that just generates a lot of heat. And so the ideal way to get rid of heat, because we all know that heat fucking rises, is to make something stand up and all the heat dissipates up. So both consoles, as far as like heat dissipation goes, it makes sense to me that they're both standing up. You know, it totally does. Because we all know, you know, the stories of, you know, PS4 sounding like fucking, you know, fighter jets taking off. You know, Xbox is having issues as well. And I think that both of them taking the function over form, unlike form over function, is probably the solid way to go. Because the last couple generations, both consoles have had serious hardware issues that are tied to the lack of heat dissipation. So you guys, people out there can talk about the way they look all you want, but as long as it plays more reliably, I don't really give a shit. And honestly, PS5 looks better.
What you got? What you got?
I enjoy the way it looks. It's a nice, refreshing switch up. I mean, the PlayStation 2, 3, and then 4, they're essentially black boxes. The 3 was kind of like an oval, sort of small thing. But yeah, it stands out. Like, I don't mind it looking a little bit flashy in my own house. I mean, some people like to drive a yellow Ferrari because they want it to be steep and everything. I don't mind having having a yellow Ferrari sit in my entertainment system where when somebody walks in, they're like, oh shit, you got a PS5. Yeah, I do got that shit. Check it out, or whatever. So if I want to flex in my own fucking house, let me flex in my own house and everything. I don't see what the big deal is with it. I mean, it's interesting. It kind of, someone described it, I don't know if you guys are Simpsons fans, but remember the episode where Homer got to design his own car? And it just became this big fucking monstrosity, crazy. I don't mind it because it's cool. It stands out. It's futuristic. It's 2020 now. I don't mind it being a little bit gaudy. And so the design of it looked sexy as fuck. I like that just for the how the main hardware looks. And I like and what I am hearing though is that it's really long or tall.
Well,
but as Chrono said, it has to do with the heat dissipation, which is fine with me and everything. I mean, I'll probably try to figure out a way so I can stand it up vertically.
Yeah. Well, now I got to figure out how to stand it up vertically in my entertainment center. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is they actually did the measurements, and I love some of the charts and graphs. This is the biggest console home console that's ever come out. Yeah. It dwarfs the 360. The GameCube and the Super Nintendo, all of those previous consoles, it dwarfs them by a fucking lot. The version that has the disc drive looks like they added that on after the fact. It does not look like it's like well thought out from the placing of it. It seems like it's a weird pussy nodule that's on the side of it that it was an afterthought. But I'm still obviously.
Wait, hold on,
Sony.
Prodigy. You thought it was a glory hole? Is that what you're trying to say? You thought literally that was a PlayStation glory hole?
Yes, I unzipped. I think it is kind of glory hole-like. It looks like some sexy-ass pussy lips. But I want the one that has the disc drive. I think it's going to be a price differential. I don't mind the look of it. It stands out a whole lot more than the first 4 generations for fucking certain, especially in white. But we're going to see multiple different color patterns and whatnot. And inevitably, 3-4 years from now, we're also going to see most likely a smaller, quieter version. But it's a big bad motherfucker. It looks huge. That's what I got. Anybody else? Everybody got their thoughts on that.
I guess that's our thoughts are on that part of it. So they did go over some of the features with it. They mentioned the 3D audio headsets. We already know about what the controller looked like with the haptic feedback triggers. What else did they have you talked about
a little remote control.
Yeah, the remote.
Yeah, the media remote control. So I think it's fully packed, and I think they're playing the whole wait and see game to release the price. But you got my money. I was just like I was throwing my money at the screen. I was like, I was trying to swipe my credit card on the back of my TV. I was like, I know there's a spot where I can purchase now. But I was excited. But should we get on the games? Can we get on? Can we get on the kill shot, the Xbox kill shot, where we got some exclusives? And they came out. They weren't subtle with it. They weren't just be like, okay, we're gonna be gentle. We do like some shrimp cocktail with your steak. They were like, no, Miles Morales. Here we go.
Boom.
Boom. Spread open. Grab those ankles. Where are my Timbs?
Do you
Damn, where my Timbs?
Do you realize Miles had a glow up, as they say? His lineup and his fade Everything looks dope about Miles. He looks better than he did in Spider-Verse. He looks better than he did in comics. This dude is fresh to death like a true king on PS5. I can't get over. I want it as my screensaver. Him with the mask off, fade looking clean, ready to fucking do some fighting.
That's because you're gay. It's okay though.
Oh.
It's okay to be gay.
Damn. It is okay. It's also good to be into transsexual porn too. Live your truth.
Or you can check the third box now when you go for a gender. You're good to go. You're non-binary. You're okay.
There you go. Look at that.
Miles looks dope.
Yeah. So it did. There was a little bit of I guess confusion if this was going to be DLC, an expansion, or a standalone. With there was some back and forth talking, but it seems like this is going to be kind of like what's the Uncharted game that I'm trying to think of. That
Lost Legacy.
Yeah, that's what it. I guess it appears
Lost
to.
Legacy.
Yeah, be like, and then someone mentioned the
Lost
Infamous
Legacy
game as well that had the additional game that you could additionally play with it. But I'm excited. It's not really Spider-Man 2, but I'm down to play this game, and it looks beautiful. I'm down. Can't wait.
Yeah.
Were any other?
I mean,
Okay.
the fact that was coming like out of the jump, for the PS5 thing, I was like, oh my god! Like they started off with like, they were like, oh, Black Lives Matter now, huh? All right, cool. We know how to start this shit. Like they jumped all over that shit. I was like, that's awesome. I mean, listen, Miles Morales is a great character. I've talked about it previously on the podcast that there's a lot of really shitty. How do I put it? Like diversity characters.
Gender swapping.
Yeah, gender swaps or ethnic swaps.
Mm-hmm.
Characters that are they're terribly done. Miles Morales is not one of them. Brian Michael Bendis, I believe that's the guy who created the character, right?
Yes.
He did an excellent job with making a fully fleshed out character, and it was awesome. So I'm glad that he's getting, he had the movie, a couple years ago. We had a new one coming out in the next 2 years. We'll see because of the Rona, but Into the Spider-Verse. Listen, Into the Spider-Verse was like literally one of the greatest comic movies of all. It's in my top three easy, if not number one.
Yep.
I mean, they stuck to the comic.
Yeah,
It was an excellent, movie, and it had me questioning why the fuck are we making live action comic movies anymore? Because Into the Spider-Verse is fucking damn near perfect. So yeah, I mean, it was a great start to their show. So next up,
how did you like that hot eggplant all up on you, old ninja? What did you think when it was squirting on you?
Yeah. When's it dropping on Xbox?
Oh wow. Xbox show isn't until July. Give a fuck what you're trying to say. So
they're gonna have Forza and Gears of War.
Well, and
Halo.
also Halo Infinite.
Oh,
But
man.
still, there was no gameplay footage. It was all cinematics. So I guess that's a slight negative, but still.
That's all you got?
Yeah, that's all you got. You had to complain about something.
That was your ace? That was your ace?
No, I wasn't the ace. I'm just saying, did you see gameplay? No, you didn't. You just saw cinematics. So
You know what I haven't seen gameplay of? I haven't seen gameplay of anything on the fucking Xbox that's an exclusive yet. Not anything. Nothing. Literally nothing.
Okay.
I saw the console.
Miles?
That's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Miles was fucking huge. That was a way to fucking start. They actually technically started, I believe, with the game that will never die, GTA 5.
Oh, that's right.
It's going to be on PlayStation 5.
Jesus Christ.
Well, when it said Rockstar, I
To
was
no
like,
one's surprise.
well, when it said Rockstar, I was like, it's definitely not going to be fucking GTA, 6. And people were all mad that like they keep doing it. I'm like, yeah, because it keeps making fucking money. Like, what the fuck? What is wrong with you? It's still making millions of dollars every fucking year. So yeah, you're gonna keep riding it. You know what I mean? Like, people are so silly about it. They're like, oh, it's spanning through generations. Yeah, it is, because it keeps making money, and it's still a good fucking game, and it's still will look good on new consoles. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I understand their thing. Like, if GTA 5 was making less money, just kind of dying down, like significantly, I would totally understand. But it's not. It's still hot as fuck. And they still, it's hot as fuck only from the online shit, because they still have, even though they said they were going to do it, but they haven't. I remember Rockstar, how dare you motherfuckers, but they haven't dropped any fucking new DLC for the story.
Nope.
And people don't give a shit. They're just
I don't think they are.
No, I don't think they are either. I'm like, at this point, I don't really give a shit. I mean, they dropped Red Dead Redemption 2, and that game was awesome. So, do what you gotta do, make your fucking money. GTA 5 will live basically forever. It's gonna be like Skyrim now. It's every fucking generation.
Yep. That one, and then it seems like Resident Evil 4 is on every console for the last 15, 20 years, too.
Yeah, it's gonna keep going. I mean, if people want to get mad, then just stop buying it, I guess.
They won't.
I bought GTA.
They won't.
I bought GTA 5 twice.
Yep, me too. Everybody did.
I might do it again. I don't give a fuck.
Yep.
It's good. Drop the price though. Hold on. Real quick. Drop the price though. Do not fucking say GTA 5 is gonna cost $60 goddamn dollars on the PS5.
Oh, no.
You can go fuck yourself on that. $30 is all I'm willing to pay for a game that I played.
Yeah.
Will be 3 times. So yeah, $30 is all I'm willing to pay.
I'm with you. Sticking with just a few household name sequel exclusives, they also dropped a big hammer. This was later in the show, so we're not going in chronological fucking order and whatnot, because there's a lot of fucking games, but Horizon Zero Dawn, goddammit, Aloy is back. What'd y'all think?
Aloy is awesome. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn would have been the game of the year if it was not for... It was Zelda Breath of the Wild that killed it, right? But if Zelda Breath of the Wild hadn't come out that year, Horizon Zero Dawn would have been game of the year. Like, seriously, it was a really good game. If you own a PS4, buy that game. You're doing yourself a huge disservice. It was an excellent game. It's actually a really great game as far as, like, watching the downfall of humanity. Like, once you go back and, like, read the lore. Like, this is, like, one of the games where I'm, like, definitely read the lore. Because, like, a lot of games that, like, hide the lore in, like, text. And this is one of the ones you have to, like, actually read. And, like, you have to actually read how the world became the way it is in Horizon Zero Dawn. I think that in that game was really cool. So, yeah.
Stitch, what do you think of this? Horizon Zero Dawn 2, the exact name of it is, hold on. Into the West?
Into the West. Something like that. I'm excited. Aloy's a badass. I was trying to think, I was like, is she more badass than the new Lara Croft Tomb Raider? I was like, they're about neck and neck. But something I also thought, it's Sony is really doing a nice push on like women characters, strong women characters in a lot of their gaming stories, which I think is really cool to see. I mean, I'll play a game, it doesn't matter if I'm a transgendered, whatever. If the game's good, I'll play it.
Yeah,
and,
I'm glad you said that, because that's the right way to do it. Like, you don't put out a game and like make it a big deal that the main character is whatever gender or whatever sexuality, whatever. Just put out a good game, and we will accept it, whoever the main character is, if it's written well.
Yeah.
But if you tell me beforehand the main character is a transgender, blah blah blah, listen, I don't give a fuck. Write a good game. If the main character happens to be female, transgender, whatever, disabled, I don't give a shit. Just write it well.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta come back to that point a little bit later in the show, because there's something that dovetails on it. But go ahead, Sid.
I'm excited to play it. That was 2021. I was too busy with my jaw on the ground to remember all the dates when some of these games are dropping.
TBA on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. The first one I loved. Even after I beat the game, I was running around trying to just do all the little side quests, get all the collectibles and everything. It was awesome. Robot dinosaurs. She's going underwater now, swimming and shit. So yeah, give me that bow, team bow, because you used to hate on people that would shoot bow and arrows. But I see you.
He's still doing. Wait.
That's Prodigy. What he's talking about? Not everybody, just Prodigy.
Yeah.
That's Prodigy.
Me and Stitch are Team Bow because we both have bows.
Yeah. And for the record, I have never hated on in video games. I loved Horizon. This was a great game.
Yeah. So I cannot wait to just take on those big ass.
Oh yeah, I was waiting for this announcement actually because I platinum Horizon Zero Dawn and I beat the brakes off the DLC. And then even on Monster Hunter, I have Aloy as one of my armors. In fact, in the game, Aloy's armor is the strongest in the game, outside of maybe one. So I was super excited. I'm hoping it's not just an expansion. I'm hoping it's a full-on game like the controversial with Spider-Man. So I mean, because the first game was like a decent length game. So I'm happy to return. And there's some great visuals. We see that she gets to go to the Golden Gate Bridge, and it's like overgrown with flora, and it looks like the ground has like raised up. I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but a lot of time.
You can give nothing away because it's not out yet.
Well, no, I mean, as far as the original game, it's part of the story. If you've never played it, so a lot of time has passed. So since up until Aloy's time. So I'm super excited. I just wanted a release date, but I'm pretty sure it'll be early 2021. At least I hope. But we'll see. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I like it. I mean, Guerrilla's doing their fucking thing, man. The other one that I was really excited about seeing, and it struck me because it surprised me. This thing with Sackboy kind of looked fucking whimsical and cool. Like, I hadn't thought about Little Big Planet Sackboy since the PS3 era. Did he have a game on the PS4?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Yeah.
He almost was a mascot. He almost was a Sony mascot for a while on the PS3 era.
Yeah.
And so he's getting his own little adventure.
Yeah, and it's like the same thing with, remember that, like, the PlayStation All-Stars? Remember that shit?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
They need to bring that back in this generation. Like, it wasn't in the PS4 generation. It was in the PS3/PSP generation, but they kind of got rid of it. But basically, listen, the PlayStation All-Stars is basically Super Smash Brothers for PlayStation characters. Mm-hmm. It was pretty good. Yeah. So they should bring it back. Yeah. I mean, bring back that old shit.
Yeah.
And Crash Bandicoot. Make a new Crash Bandicoot. The fuck?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but we're getting Sackboy Big Adventure. I thought it was cool. Like my kid, my 10-year-old son was watching it with me, and because he missed obviously the PS3 era, he had never seen Sackboy before. I was like, oh man, yeah, this was like one of their old mascots. It's certainly a game that's semi for a younger audience, but then I remember a whole lot of level building that a lot of creative types it extremely love, and much like they love like the creativity in Minecraft. So I think that could be another big hit for them.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Oh, so the official name for Horizon is Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West.
Yeah, that's it. Here's what I wanted to ask you guys, because back in the day of PS1, PS2, and even PS3 era, Twisted Metal was huge. Did you guys see this Destruction All-Stars, a vehicular combat game?
Yeah, but it looked like a mix between like Fortnite and like Rocket League to me.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it could be good, but it could be shit. So I don't know. I need to have more information. So yeah.
It definitely felt like from the trailer I got that same Fortnite vibe, but I also got this like hopeful feeling of maybe this is a return to their Twisted Metal days in terms of really fun combat and vehicles too. But I'm curious. This piqued my interest, especially for being a new IP.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It looked pretty interesting. I'll see what it looks like when it comes out, but I was like, oh, it looks like it might be fun.
Maybe, yeah, because I mean it's super early on. Like it's easy to a game to look good in CGI is obviously pretty easy, but like seeing game mechanics and like the way it plays is way different. So we'll see.
So what's Old Ninja got to say about Ratchet and Clank? Because that was some gameplay.
That looked dope. Yeah.
It did.
That was firing on all cylinders. I was like, this game looks like it's ready to play right now. There was so much shit going on the screen. I couldn't even focus. I was like, this is just a badass hour going on right now.
Old Ninja.
What?
He's like, what's Ratchet and Clank? He's like, you talking about Halo?
Oh. Yeah. What is Ratchet and Clank? What's that about? What is that? Is that like a Banjo-Kazooie Part 4 or something? What is that?
We can't take you nowhere, old ninja. It looked dope. The rift in time. They're going through portals like Rick and Morty, basically.
They're going through.
Not portals. You can change.
They're going through
you can change genders in the game. It's perfect for Prodigy.
Well, they went through dimensions. I was like,
oh yeah, okay,
dope. Yeah. And so the dimensions thing that they were doing was showing the prowess of the PS5 because the way that they utilize the SSD now. I think I talked about it in the last podcast, but it's way easier for developers to bring up any sort of assets from the hard drive now because they're actually utilizing a hard drive like they're utilizing RAM. Because I'm from the data storage industry, and SSDs kind of like changed like the way that we operated. Because you can get data so fucking fast from an SSD. You can get data from an SSD pretty much as fast as you can get data from RAM, and RAM is basically the fastest way you can get any sort of data. And in this game, it showed how you can basically hop through different worlds with no pause because you're pulling up all these assets and they're available all the time because you're reading them straight from an SSD. And like the traditional way that even to this day, even though we have SSDs, PC and all the previous generations of consoles, the way that they read new assets, they have to actually go to the hard drive, read it, and then place it into RAM. Well, what the PS5 is doing is they're just taking the data straight from the SSD and like loading it up straight into the game. Because you don't need to you don't need to load it necessarily into RAM all the time. You can just load it straight into the game because it's just as fast as RAM, and that's where the PS5 might eclipse PC performance. And when that happens, PC's got to catch up. And I'm a master race guy, you know, like. But for right now, PC games are not being written to utilize SSD drives like that. I mean, and SSDs have been out for PC games for like a long time, but games aren't written for SSD drives. So it's going to be really interesting with the new generation of consoles. And I think a lot of PC guys might get fucking mad because, yeah, yeah.
PC guys stay angry.
Yeah. I mean, they'll have the advantage with controls still. Like, that's a definite advantage. Like, the keyboard and mouse, you ain't beating it with a console. But as far as performance goes, this could be, like, the deal breaker. So, we'll see.
It's good shit. Everybody knows one of my absolute favorite. I'm a FromSoft guy. I love the Soulsborne series.
Because you like torture.
We like whatever. You don't play any of them. Demon Souls.
I did, bitch. They suck.
Demon Souls is what we're getting. Gotta get past the tutorial boss. Demon Souls is what we're getting. But the thing that's interesting is it's not from FromSoft. This is Blue Point Games making this one. But the trailer itself, the teaser, of course, I thought it was Bloodborne for a half second and nearly nutted in my fucking pants. But this trailer looks fucking solid as hell. My only question is, since Sony had that partnership with FromSoft for not only Demon's Souls, but obviously with Bloodborne as well, it's odd to me that they're not doing the actual remastered version. So that's something that gives me some pause, but I'm on board. I want to see what this one looks like. I never went back because it was on the PS3. It was locked on the PS3 to Demon's Souls. I'll definitely try to give this one a shot. As long as it has this, I certainly need the PvP and PvE going on at the same time. If that's not in it, like it certainly wasn't in it for Sekiro, get the fuck out of here.
So first of all, Prodigy, fuck you. You said that you had to get past the tutorial boss. That's like saying you have to get past a fucking 5-inch diameter spiked dildo up your ass. That's how it was me playing that game. The game was so
which game are you?
Fucking
Which
Bloodborne.
one are you talking about?
Bloodborne.
Okay.
Like the game was fucking.
Damn.
The game was not enjoyable. Just like a fucking spiked dildo up your ass is not enjoyable. It was not enjoyable at all. And I tried, and I was just like, dude, I can't. Like, I beat the first fucking boss, which you say is a tutorial boss. I guess he was. I don't think it was.
There's no guess about. There's no fucking guess about it. Tutorial boss is the tutorial boss.
Which boss?
mean?
Which boss did I beat?
You beat the tutorial boss, the cleric beast.
Okay, but the game was not enjoyable to that point, and I went past that. I went past that boss, and I kept trying to have fun. I went down some fucking crazy ass pit of people that can kill me in like 2 or 3 hits. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. This game is fucking. It's trash.
Yes,
Damn.
It is. It's
you have to get to the first. You have to at least get to a first boss to be able to actually say something is good or bad.
Why would I take
rule.
another foot worth of spiked dildos up my ass to enjoy it?
You could get good at it, but anyway.
Yeah. I guess more lube, right? That would get good. Yeah. Fuck that. Yeah. Please tell me how you're a better gamer than me. Please explain that to me at this point in time.
For the Soulsborne games that we're talking about, I beat them.
You have more patience. You have more patience, but you are definitely not. Hold the fuck on. Let me ask anybody on this fucking podcast that's listening right now. Who do you think is the best gamer on this podcast?
Me?
Oh no. No, it's not you.
I'm staying out of this. I'm sitting back and I'm watching this.
Yeah.
Don't go at it.
No.
Yeah, but what words did I say that were wrong? I said for
all of them.
Soulsborne games, which is the topic that
All
we're
of
talking
them.
about right here. Yes,
They're
I am
not.
better.
They're enough. They're enough.
If you can't get to the first boss, then yes, I'm better.
Who's the better gamer? It's me.
Okay.
Yeah. See how he just said okay? See how he's used to sitting down when he goes pee? That's what Soulsborne does to you.
Get to the first boss.
He was just like, yes.
Get to the
yes,
first boss.
You're the best gamer. You're the
to
best
the
gamer,
first boss.
Cronus. I know you're the best gamer.
Can you get to the first boss?
I don't need to.
Can you get to the first boss?
Who's the best gamer? Who's the best
Can you
gamer?
get to the first boss in this game?
I asked the first
Can you
question.
get to the first boss in this game?
I did, and I beat
you
him,
get to the first
and I was
boss?
like, "Fuck that!" I did.
You didn't get to the first boss.
Yes, I
That
did.
is a tutorial.
No, I did. It wasn't
That
a
is a-
tutorial. I beat the first fucking boss. Who's the best gamer?
You are so wrong.
Who's the best gamer?
You can ask
You still haven't
anybody who plays
answered.
Bloodborne. You
Who's
can
the
ask
best
anybody
gamer?
who plays Bloodborne, and you can look it up for yourself.
Who's the best
The
gamer?
tutorial boss is the cleric B boss. That
Who is the best gamer? Me or you?
In the game.
Who's the best gamer? Me or you?
That's a matter of opinion. For these games, I am better.
Okay, here we go. All right, anybody listen to this podcast right now. We can do any 5 fucking games, P versus P.
shit.
Who the fuck do you think is gonna win? Me or Prodigy?
Oh, are you
Souls,
asking? Are you asking?
Dark Souls
Are you
1,
asking?
Dark Souls, does
2,
that
Dark
have P
Souls
versus
3,
P?
And Bloodborne are 5 games.
Does that have
I'm
P
better.
versus P?
Yes, yes, they do.
Okay,
5
so
games. I just looked.
Prodigy, you fucked up right now. Do you really want to do this?
Dialogue.
Do you wanna do this?
Dialogue.
No, I'm asking you right now. Prodigy, you want to do this? On all those games, P versus P. Because I will literally
Yeah,
dedicate...
I've literally asked you to play on these games for a long time. Let's go.
Because they're trying... Is there even P versus P on these games? And that's...
There's
You're asking me to play a particular type of game. That is not the best gamer. I can play you in a fucking puzzle game, beat you. Fighting game, beat you. FPS, beat you. Strategy game, beat you. But you're just like, oh yeah, I'm better at fucking Soulsborne. Yeah, congratulations.
You said list
Congratulations.
5. You literally said list 5 games. I listed.
And they're all the same kind of
5.
fucking game. And yeah, if you want to do it, we can do it. And I'll fucking dedicate my life to fuck you up at that particular type of game. But to me, it's not fucking worth it.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do. But you know what you'd have to do first? You'd have to get to the first boss.
And I did.
Damn.
You know what you gotta do for me? You gotta be good at any kind of fucking fighting game, any kind of strategy game, any kind of fucking first-person shooter, all that shit. I'll fuck you up at any of those fucking games. I'm willing to say,
Any but the games that you can't get to the first boss in. Okay, I'm with you.
I have gotten to the first boss, and I beat him.
You have not.
It
That
wasn't
is a tutorial.
It wasn't fun.
Tutorial's not the first boss.
No, it didn't say tutorial when I was playing the game. So you're just talking bullshit right now. It did not say.
No, you don't. Hold on.
Did it say tutorial when I beat him?
It is tutorial. Hold on. Let me just.
You're
say
pretending.
This. The reason that it is tutorial is because you can skip that boss. It is a tutorial boss to get you used to the game. It is not a requirement. You literally cannot progress in the game without fighting Father Gascoigne, who is the first boss.
I beat.
So when
that...
I say I know what I'm talking about Bloodborne, I fucking do.
I beat that boss.
That is a.
I progressed past that, and I was like, "This game isn't fun anymore."
I'm going to say this again. It's really, really clear.
Sure.
That is a tutorial boss.
It's not a tutorial.
It's not
boss.
the first boss of the
No,
game.
you're pretending that it's tutorial because you're making up pretend fucking instructions for this shit.
It's not me. Why don't you ask Matt from Pre-Recorded Live who's played it? You can ask. I can send you 50,000 gamers.
No, hold on.
Who will?
So you're saying that
Who will tell you the same thing?
The boss is not even the issue for me. Is the fact that the game just wasn't fucking fun for me. And you're focusing on this one thing where I'm literally telling you that I can beat you at all these other games. And if you want to do, if there is there a P versus P in this game?
I keep telling you, yes.
Okay, so okay, we'll keep it fair. We'll go to like reset your character, and we'll go 1 versus 1 on the base character level. You want to do that?
Sure. I actually think you need to actually get past. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I think you need to get past the first boss.
Here we go with the excuses.
In order to do that.
Here we go with the excuses.
I'm literally trying to tell you how the game works.
Here we go with the excuses.
I'm literally trying to tell you how the game works, but we can try.
These are excuses. If it's base level characters,
I'm always down. I'm always down to play that game.
I didn't ask you about the bosses. I asked you base level characters. If we can fight each other in base level characters, if you want to do that, we can do that.
And what did I say?
You immediately brought up bosses. You brought up bosses. Is what you just did.
No, because.
No, not because. That's all excuses.
But it's a requirement to do that. What you said.
It's just base level.
Yes, but it's a. Do you know what a requirement is? a requirement means you have to fulfill. Go ahead.
I've played the game. I haven't played it for a while, but what Prodigy is saying is to get to the part where you unlock the P versus P part, you have to get to a certain point. Now, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know when that kicks in, but he's saying if we're going to start our characters from 0, you can't just enter the game and then do PvP right at baseline level 0. You have to get to like the 2nd or 3rd level, and then it unlocks that portion of the game mode where you can do PvP.
So
my understanding is what he's saying and how I kind of read it.
Sure, I gotcha. Let's do this. We'll pick 5 games. Not 5 games of the same type. Alright? Not 5 Soulsborne games, because that's fucking stupid. Because that's not a gamer to me. It's like saying that I'm great, I'm the best gamer at fucking, Call of Duty. It's like, yeah, congrats, but you're not the best gamer. Like, people that are calling themselves gamers today that play the same kind of fucking games. That is kind of ridiculous to me. It's like saying people that play like Fortnite only or Call of Duty only. It's like, yeah, okay, because you put all that much time into that shit. I will give you, all right, wherever the fuck I gotta be to like play you at P versus P at Bloodborne or whatever the fuck. I'll do that to get to just the base level.
Okay.
And then we'll play 4 other different types, 4 other different types of genres of games, and then we'll see who comes out best. And I'll put money on it. It'll be me.
What? We should let the fans choose.
Well, no, I'll put money down. It'll be me.
So I want to be really.
I think he meant choose the games.
But, you want to choose the games?
Yeah.
Sure.
The only thing I was trying to bring up with this title was something that was revealed at the PlayStation actual 5 reveal.
Well, then you brought up nonsense.
Obviously, Bloodborne isn't even a game in the PlayStation 5 catalog right now. But all right,
sure.
Well, you brought up nonsense, so it's fine. I'm just saying.
This is so.
Okay, so more of these.
PlayStation 5 games. I'll tell you what happened because you tried to shit on me for not fucking beating some bullshit ass boss in a game, and you try to make it seem like you're a better gamer than me, which you're not. You know that.
All I told you was the fact that you didn't get to the first boss. That's not shitting on you.
I did. It said it was a boss on this fucking screen, and I beat him. And I was like, this game. I beat him, and I kept playing the game. I was like, this game isn't fun. To me.
We're going in circles, man. We're going in circles. All right.
So, this game, Project Athia or Atitha?
Yeah.
This looks like an interesting game. This looks open world, some crazy I want to say it's like a medieval, maybe Horizon and God of War mixed together. This is a new IP from Square Enix, so this could be cool. There's giant dragons.
Project Athia?
Yeah.
Project Athia? It says
Yeah, I said I
Productions.
Well, apparently this is saying this is by. I'm reading this as new IP from Square. Maybe it's a collaboration between Square
Okay,
and
maybe.
this other studio. Maybe it's produced by
Alright.
Square Enix. Yeah. Wait, I just keep losing this, but I mean, it looked interesting. I'll put it that way.
It did.
So
I like
we'll see.
that one.
It looked like it
There's some
had
cool stuff.
gameplay, so you can't shit on that.
It did have gameplay. It looked like it did. It did show some gameplay footage. So that's what got me interested.
Oh, it looked like it looked like the game from the tech demo for the Unreal Engine for the PS5.
Yes, it did.
Uh-huh.
It really
It
did.
did like that.
So I was like, damn, it looked like graphically
Yeah.
impressive.
But which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. The other one that we had seen prior, but we got an extended kind of trailer was Godfall, which is from Gearbox, and it looks hack and slash. What did you guys think of this one?
So I have mixed emotions only because Gearbox, they had a couple of games other than obviously Borderlands. They had 2 games in a row that were not great. And it was Mayhem something. Battleborn and then the Mayhem game. Something of Mayhem. And they weren't that great. They weren't Borderlands. So we'll see how Godfall is. I mean, if it looks good in a subsequent, videos, I'll get it, but they don't have it with Borderlands, excellent track record. But with other games, they're kind of iffy.
Agreed.
What did y'all think of this Returnal game?
Was that the Karen in space one?
Oh, damn.
With the different eyes.
Damn. Yes, there was a Karen stuck in space with these Groundhog Day repeating events. I guess when she dies, she returns back to the same planet she crash landed on and has to restart her day. But the terrain and part of the planet and some of the enemies change. So it looked interesting. It looked like it looked
sci-fi-ish.
It looks like it was a nod to Dead Space. It looks like it was a little ode to Dead Space.
I agree.
At least from the whole series overall. I mean, it looks like this is a love letter to Dead Space, but they added some time differential. Looked interesting. It kind of looks like it's set in the world of Aliens, but I know it doesn't have anything to do with it. But it has that look, and the whole time aspect, knowing that you're going to keep dying, and how do you break this loop of dying will make interesting story. So.
What was that Tom Cruise movie, that sci-fi movie that had the whole time?
Edge of
loop
Tomorrow. Edge of Tomorrow.
Did it? I never saw it, but did this remind you of that?
To me, no. It didn't remind me of Edge of Tomorrow. Because Edge of Tomorrow, they had the mechs and stuff. And they're fighting crazy, squid creatures. I mean, I get the time loop is the only thing that they share in common. But as far as the look and maybe the gameplay, it didn't remind me of Edge of Tomorrow from that aspect.
Okay.
It looked more like Dead Space and Alien mixed together to me.
The 2 I'm excited for that I thought was really cool that have an interest was Kina. It was the one
Was
with
that the girl
little
with the staff?
Yeah, that looked really cool. It looked almost like it was like some Pixar kind of stuff. The way the animation was really crisp and clean on that. So that looked really cool to me. And then the one at the end, you brought up Looper, but it reminded me of that, where the two it's like this assassin sort of, these two assassins that kind of go.
Deathloop.
Yeah, Deathloop. Yeah, that looked really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to check those out
too. The big one that was it was hinted about quite a bit because Capcom can't keep their fucking mouth shut. We're getting Resident Evil 8 Village, I think is what it's called. And it looks like it's in the same style as Resident Evil 7, first-person
shooter or first-person horror,
first-person
whatever.
kind of shooter survival horror. we get, it looks like witches, werewolves, and
Maybe
zombie-like
vampires.
Maybe vampires too. Yeah, I mean, it looked like they've really branched out because obviously Resident Evil's been known primarily for really mutated zombies for all this time. But holy shit, they got new creatures up in this motherfucker. And you see
Yeah.
Chris Redfield and a lot.
Yeah, you see an older Chris Redfield. There's rumors that the werewolf might be Chris Redfield. Like he may be fucked up and he transforms. So it's kind of weird. You play as Ethan, the protagonist from Resident Evil 7. So you see him come back. So that's gonna be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm excited because this comes out early 2021. So I'm like, at first I thought this was like a new Castlevania for a split second, but then when it showed like the village, I'm like, this is Resident Evil, and sure enough, Resident Evil 8. So I think it's gonna be cool. I think this might be definitely interesting addition to the Resident Evil franchise.
3 straight years of Resident Evil games. That's pretty impressive.
It's good for Konami.
Has it been 3?
Did y'all see?
Capcom.
I'm sorry, Capcom. What did I say? Konami.
Konami.
You said Konami.
I meant Capcom. Yeah. Sorry. Gran Turismo 7 was announced as well.
Yeah, when was the last Gran Turismo?
Gran Turismo's had like a rocky history with like the last console and the previous console generation. You know, they've been like super late, but I mean they had decent games. I don't like super realistic racing games. I'd rather just like drive a car. But yeah, but I understand it looked very realistic. So yeah.
Do you remember the one that was it 4 or 5 on the PS3 that had all that smooth jazz playing?
Yeah.
Like during the game, that one put me to fucking sleep, man. It was literally just the music that didn't get me hyped up to do a goddamn thing on that game. I liked everything else, but it was just. We'll see if they can return to form, though.
Yeah, we'll see. Prodigy? What did you think of this game? It looked Solar Ash, because this looks very Journey-esque.
So, it's so funny. When I saw it, I thought, is this a fucking sequel to Journey? Goddammit. I fucking hate Journey. And I did beat Journey, but holy shit, man. That game irked me. I hated all the praise it got. And it got... that
game won a Grammy
for me. Yeah, fuck that game, man.
You know it didn't win? A Game Award.
Oh.
Actually, it probably did.
It didn't...
It probably was.
I was going to say...
But he said a Grammy,
maybe
so I had to clown.
But from a style standpoint, it doesn't look like it's going to be my fucking cup of tea. But I'll wait until we know some more about it. It sounds like it's a new IP and not part of Journey, even though it has that aesthetic.
What did y'all? This one threw me for a loop. Was the Stray game? It looks like you play as a stray cat solving a mystery or murder. I was like, wait, what?
Weird.
I'm like,
that was really interesting.
This is some Kojima shit. Playing a stray cat.
Yeah, man.
Doing crazy shit.
There was that. What was that Tokyo one? The
Hold on. It's Ghostwire Tokyo, first-person action. Is that the one?
I wasn't really feeling that, but I some people I guess were excited about it before they saw it, but that
Too soon
didn't
to
do
tell.
anything for me. Yeah, I was like,
The one that got me a little bit hyped just because I watched my furry anime on Netflix.
Oh god.
You know what I'm talking about, Beast Wars. It was Goodbye Volcano High. That looked like it was straight out of Beast Wars. You're gonna have the wolf fucking that little slutty ass fucking rabbit, taking her by the lockers, pounding that fucking rabbit poontang. I know she like it. She like ear dick too.
Oh my god!
I'm not lying. If you watch the show, she was fucking everybody.
You're gonna end up like that dude on the '70s show. Keep up with this.
Oh no, that dude's about to go to jail. That's all bad.
You're living under a rock.
No, one of the guys from I can get his name. No, it's not. Ashton Kutcher is one of the other guys. He got charged for 3 counts of rape.
Whoa. Wait, the one with the sideburns and the glasses,
curly hair.
Yeah, that guy.
He was in the ranch.
Oh,
Was he in the ranch? I don't know.
Or something.
He was at the Bunny Ranch?
No,
We are not watching
The show, The Ranch.
Oh. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't hear. I must be living under a rock. I didn't hear about that motherfucker. Too much going on in the world. God damn it. Shit. All right. Let me grab it. I know we got there's 100 different games. Some of them were new IPs. Big shit's popping off literally tomorrow. Naughty Dog and Sony still swinging giant fucking 15-inch eggplant down every Xbox motherfucker's throat, dropping The Last of Us 2. And you know what these fucking haters were saying for these last 2 months. Oh, we're anti-S. Huh?
I thought it was on Xbox.
No, it's not going to be on Xbox. This is The Last of Us 2. It's going to be only on PlayStation. But the folks were saying, based on some leaks, that this game wasn't going to be good. It was going to be shit. Lo and fucking behold, the reviews dropped last week on Thursday, Friday, or actually the day after the PlayStation 5, so Friday. These reviews look fucking stellar, like Metacritic 96, Masterpiece 10 out of 10 from IGN and a whole bunch of places. This looks like it could really be the game of the console generation. What y'all saying?
I'm excited. I mean, when I pre-ordered it today from GameStop, which was an adventure in itself, because I couldn't. You can't go inside.
You found a GameStop that was open?
Yeah, they didn't shut them down. You can't physically go in it. I had to stand outside, call the inside of GameStop, and then talk to the lady on the phone through the door and shit. Give her my credit card through the window slot. It was the most fucking ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. But I pre-ordered it. I'm excited. I didn't want to read any reviews because there has been, I guess, leaks of the story out there. So I've been kind of not even trying to read anything. I'm pretty sure I'll like it. I already know I'm going to play it, so that's not even a debate.
I just heard that it was about an angry lesbian, so I'm like, all right, I'm in. Just saying.
Damn.
I'm all good. I'm down for some stealthy, some killing, some
Wait, hold on.
shit.
I'm in, but also not in because I'm not a lesbian. That was a good joke.
See what you did.
Cronus, did you ever check out the Left Behind one, the DLC for Last of Us?
No, I still need to. I mean, I enjoyed the game.
Not either.
So if y'all have not listened to this podcast for like a long time, The Last of Us left a bad taste in my mouth, but it wasn't because of the game. Okay, what happened is that The Last of Us came out and I bought it and I was playing it and I had it, obviously it was on the PS3 and my PlayStation died. All right, because what happened is that there was an update that came out for the PS3, and if you had a PS3 with a hard drive that didn't originally come with the PS3, it would kill your console immediately. Mm-hmm. And so that's what happened to me. But at the time, I was playing The Last of Us, and so like anytime I heard about The Last of Us for like years after that fucking shit happened to me, because literally I sent my fucking console back to Sony. So I was PlayStation-less for like a couple of weeks, and then sent it back and it was blank. And I was like, motherfuckers, I could have blanked my shit out. I wanted my fucking data back. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I had to buy a new PS3, or a used one, anyway, because I wanted the fat back, because it had all the extra ports on it. So yeah, I had a bad experience with The Last of Us. So, but eventually, Prodigy let me borrow his game. And I played it, and I beat it, and it was a fucking great game. But yeah, I had a really bad experience with it, only because Sony fucked me over with their goddamn update. And so now anytime I get an update for my PS4, I have to Google, the version of the update and then issues. And I look for, I wait for at least 2 days, and then see if there's issues.
Yep.
There's issues where it's like the console's dead. I'm like, no, fuck that. I guess I ain't online.
Yeah.
For a while.
That's smart. That's the way to do it. But I would say the DLC is literally only maybe 2 to 3 hours or so. but you get so much more story with Ellie.
Well,
and
Go
go ahead.
no,
You were saying?
No,
Okay.
I was gonna say I gotta find
Okay.
it. It's somewhere in my house right now.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. But I was just gonna say, what was so funny to me about this pseudo online backlash with the leaks and whatnot. Ellie's obviously not. These are spoilers from a game that came out in 2013. Ellie's not a NPC. She's obviously a playable character.
Yeah.
The DLC is all playing as her, and then in the main game you can certainly play as her. And spoiler alert, she is a lesbian teenager. So this fake outrage about there's a gay character a gay female character as the lead. Get the fuck out of here! Everybody loved this game back in 2013, and it was great. And now we're finally getting a sequel 7 fucking years later. But if you didn't pay attention to it or never played it, then you're gonna do some dumb shit about complaining about something that was already in the first game.
Well, this is just the bigotry of America. I mean, seriously. Listen, what? How do I put this in a polite way? No, there's no fucking polite way to put this. We're still literally fighting for human rights and civil rights in 2020. We had to reinforce, LGBTQ++, whatever the fuck, rights just a couple days ago from the Supreme Court.
Yep.
How the fuck is this possible? And don't get me wrong, I don't understand like the 55,000 fucking genders out there. However, I support their fucking rights to exist. I support their rights to live as a human being. I support your civil rights. I might not understand all the fucking shit that you're talking about, but I still support your rights as a human being. You know what I mean? So I think that's something that might be lost when I talk about like those sorts of things. Because I generally don't believe in like a crazy amount of genders. But I also believe you're a fucking human being, and you deserve the same rights as I do. And I think that's a huge problem with America right now, is because they think that just because somebody's different from them, that they deserve something less than what you have. And that goes to me, it happens to do with like, African American rights as well here in America, because it's the same. They're using the same kind of fucking arguments, trying to reduce people to being less than human. And people that don't see it, what bothers me even more is that when people of color shit on them as well, it's like, what the fuck? They're still people. They still deserve everything that you deserve. So even if you don't get it, it doesn't fucking matter. They're still fucking people.
Great. Well said too. Yeah, I'm head over heels fucking excited about this game. I got it fucking pre-ordered. I'm gonna play it at launch. I'm gonna try to Twitch it out all fucking weekend as much as I possibly can. And I'm gonna use the fucking guilty ass excuse of Sunday being Father's Day and tell my family to fuck off.
Fuck you. He's like, I'm not a father today on Father's Day. That's a great excuse.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
I don't have kids. He's gonna be like, I don't have kids on Father's Day.
Well,
fucking kids.
I'm getting fucked by Amazon because I bought it from Amazon, which I need to stop. Because apparently Amazon, even though I pay for all this fucking bullshit from Amazon to get shit faster, I'm not gonna get my game until the 26th. Apparently.
Damn it.
But
That's fun.
Yeah.
Whack.
They fucked me 3 times in a row now, and I'm paying for it. This is the problem that I have. Is that I'm paying extra money to get shit in a slower manner that I could get from somewhere fucking else. So you know what, Amazon, on that aspect, fuck you. And I understand that it's the COVID-19 thing, blah, 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 blah. Cry me a fucking river. I don't really give a shit at this point in time. Because if I'm paying you extra money to give me something faster and you can't deliver, give me a fucking refund for that shit. For my fucking Prime experience and all that fucking bullshit, you're not delivering on what you promised that you would deliver on, so fuck you. Anyway, I'll let that go. I don't want to get too deep into it, but yeah.
No, it's legit.
I'll pay extra!
I'm gonna switch it up a little bit on us. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but and I'm gonna do kind of spoiler free. Did you guys see Spike Lee's The Five Bloods?
Nope.
Not yet.
Not yet, but I heard good things about it from multiple people.
Okay. I did check it out literally just last night. I strongly recommend everybody on this cast try to check it out on Netflix. No matter how you feel, maybe you don't like Spike Lee movies, but just check it out. Go in with an open mind. It is about black military vets from the Vietnam War going back to Vietnam. Yeah, get it. There's a lot in there about history. There's a lot in there about pay. And I'm going to tell you very honestly, pay close attention to Delroy Lindo, I think is his name.
His name, yeah.
That is his name.
Yeah.
This dude is going to get nominated 50 times over for this role. If you watch it, I think you'll agree. I was impressed with it. Mishka was impressed with it. I think it's one of not only Spike Lee's best, but just one of the best movies I've seen in quite a while. Maybe the last 2 or 3 years or something like that. And that's the high praise.
Well, you know what's crazy is that I literally just watched Malcolm X with K-Mac. It took us 2 days because, you know, it's a 3.5 hour movie.
Long.
It's a fucking long ass movie, but it's really good. Delroy Lindo's in that as well. And so is Giancarlo Esposito. He's in that as well. Did y'all know that?
Yep.
No, I did not.
Yeah, he's totally in that.
I recently resaw it too, but yeah.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, that's him.
Yep.
That's like that's a really good movie. And also from Netflix, 13th by Ava DuVernay is like, listen, I'll do a whole other Cronus rants on this because I've had so many people reach out to me, and I'm sure everybody else in this podcast, you've had people that are, you know, European American, Caucasian, whatever the fuck you want to say, reach out to us recently about, like, you know, how can we help? And for me, it's about, like, educating yourselves on these things. And I do not blame people that are not brown for not understanding the issues that we're going through. All right? Because it was hidden from you. It was hidden from me. It was hidden from everybody. The whole all of America, they hid all this shit by design. All right? And I totally get that. Ask me all the questions. If you're listening to this podcast and you know me personally, if you're my Facebook friend, you're listening to this, you can ask me any question you want, and I won't think that you're a racist for asking me a fucking question. But it's like...
Don't ask him about Bloodborne, though. Sorry.
Well, that's not racist.
No! Sorry.
Why?
Go ahead.
Why'd you do this?
Is there anybody black in Bloodborne? No, bitch! I'm just saying. Why you gotta be talking about this shit? I'm just saying. It's just like, oh man, you tossed me off my fucking train. I was on a train. I had a destination, and you fucked it up. Thanks, Prodigy. Anyway, I was talking about fucking racist shit in like Caucasians and like asking questions. Yeah, you can ask me any questions that you want to if you know me personally, or even through Twitter. If you know me on Twitter, you know, friend me, you know, or you know, follow me and DM me or whatever. It's at Cronus the Alpha Geek on Twitter, or just do it on Be the BTI. It's fine. I'm not gonna get mad at you for asking me a question that you honestly want an answer to. And now I'm still thinking about Prodigy's fucking bullshit. You fucked up my whole train.
I'm sorry.
I had a point. Now the point's gone. So y'all, you guys do your fucking shit now.
So Prodigy, what is your simple ass gonna put on pancakes now that Aunt Jemima's been canceled?
Oh damn!
I'm amazed by this. I saw this shit on Twitter literally this morning, and I was like, "Holy fucking shit! Did they do this? Is this legit?" I didn't even know Quaker Oats owned Aunt Jemima still. This is some leftover mammy slave time bullshit that's been on the box since forever. That one, Uncle Ben.
Yeah, Uncle Ben's on.
The cream of wheat guy.
Yeah.
The cream of wheat guy's gone.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Yeah. I mean, literally, these are leftovers from caricatures. Yeah, but now I'm gonna say something semi-controversial. Y'all not gonna like it.
Oh, here we go.
Hold on, Prodigy. Talk to me about Fudas. Can I fuck up your whole fucking mind frame right now? Because I had a point too, but you fucked my shit up.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, of course, I'm all in favor of them removing some of these racist caricatures from the old days and whatnot. Some of them are 140, 130 years old. I will say there's something that rubs me the wrong way about the Popeyes chicken woman. She's not a mammy. She's not. But something about her does not seem on the up and up from a stereotypical standpoint of black woman selling chicken. Just doesn't work for me. Get her gone too.
Is she not black enough? Oh, you?
Is this Terry Crews related? I don't understand.
No, it's just it's something about her being the face of this fried chicken franchise, fast food franchise, that obviously she's not a shareholder in this major corporation. Something about it seems a little.
You don't know that.
A little. Huh?
You don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know that.
I mean, she is not a shareholder. Yeah, she is not a shareholder in the company.
How
no,
do you know that?
I do know that. She's a.
How do you know that she's not the
look
founder?
She's not a founder.
You can look it up.
100%. But
yeah,
she could be a shareholder.
And the shareholder. I'm sorry, I misspoke. I meant board, like the board member.
Oh,
not shareholder.
Okay,
Anybody
that's
can
more
own
accurate.
stock.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could be a shareholder.
I misspoke, but
but
yeah,
definitely
exactly.
not.
Anybody can be a shareholder, but to be on the board is a whole different thing. It just personally rubs me a little. I cringe every time, but I'm happy about the Aunt Jemima stuff. What do y'all? Think?
Hold on, Prodigy. What do you think about the Popeyes biscuits though with honey?
They're good. I like them.
All right. I just want to get that out there because they're. You know what's hilarious to me because I had no idea about Popeye's chicken until I went to Iraq. Because they had Popeyes.
Really?
Yeah, they had Popeyes fucking chicken when I was on base in Iraq. When I was in the VBC, the Victory Base Complex, they had Popeyes chicken there. And on some of my cheat days, if y'all didn't know this, all right, listen, I used to be a fucking fat ass. All right, I used to be like 250 pounds, and I lost weight when I was over in Iraq. And on my cheat days, I would have either a foot-long meatball sub from Subway or some Popeye's chicken nonsense. Only on Sunday. Every other day, it was like, eat right, get fucking yoked, lift weights. But on Sundays, though, it was like, yo, I'm eating some bullshit. And, yeah.
Cheat day. There you go.
You should post out your old bodybuilding profile pic from back in the day.
Yeah, I got pretty big, and then I got fucked, and then I had medical issues. Where my guts exploded. So, yeah.
What you think about Aunt Jemima? You were there when she was initiated as the spokesperson.
Yeah, I thought you took her to prom.
Just because we were hanging out for a little bit doesn't mean that I gave her no kids.
It definitely
None
does.
of that stuff. I mean, we was chilling, for a minute, and then I had to move on. Why you gotta bring up this old shit? I mean, hey, I can't be mad. Someone's getting paid for her brand name.
Holy shit.
Probably a white person.
Hold on.
Probably a white person,
Oh,
but
Ninja.
still.
You know, I'm gonna tell you how bad your camera is right now. I just now noticed that you have a fucking beard. Like, what the... Alright, so listen. Let me help you out. For the next podcast, turn off your lights that are above you right now. Because it's fucking up the whole everything with your camera. Get a camera behind... Get a light...
a light source?
Yeah, get a light source.
source.
Get a light source behind your camera to shine on you. Because I think that's what's fucking up your camera.
Okay. I got it set up, but still.
Yeah. You got a fucking full beard.
Yeah, I do. I've had this a couple months now, but still.
Jesus Christ. I'm a terrible friend. I'm sorry, man. Oh my god, I feel bad.
But yeah, I think it's interesting that these name brands are going to be gone, and I think this could be the first of another wave. We'll probably see a bunch of other stuff that's going to end up changing their names because of some old timey evil roots.
Well, I mean, the name brand. I mean, yeah, it will probably be gone, but the actual product will not be gone.
Yeah, the product won't be gone. That's what I'm saying. We're going to see name changes probably pass through a couple other products. So,
and I have mixed feelings on it, but I think it's going to be for the better good, because I think that this is where I was going to go to. I think before Prodigy fucking mind ninja me is that, most people that are not of color here in America, they don't understand that they've been fed bullshit. You know what I mean? And so have we. If you go to like history lessons, they give like this modified history that is not factual at all, and people just believe it. And they have you by society, just by design, you get to ignore easily all these other issues because they make you believe that everything in America is right now. Nobody's having problems. But meanwhile, you have a whole subset of people that are having serious fucking issues by police brutality, financial issues by design, all these other issues that are still affecting a huge portion of America, but they don't talk about it in history books or in school at all, because if people heard about it, they'd have to pay attention to it and actually fucking help them. You know what I mean? And I had so many conversations with people that are European American, Caucasian, wherever, and they're like, I'm sorry, but it's like, don't be fucking sorry. Like, most people that reach out to me that are like, I didn't know, blah, 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 I get it. But you were fucking lied to the same way I was lied to. And the same way most of America was lied to. Most of America was lied to. And I get it, and it's not your fault. That shit is not your fault. What could be your fault is you not doing your research right now and educating yourself on what the problems are in America that are racial issues. And so anybody that's out there right now that reaches out to me is like, hey, what can I do to help? I give them specific things to like look up, like, the 13th Amendment. Hold on. What the fuck? Sorry, there's a spider behind me.
Oh,
I can't see
it's
it.
like the size of a rat.
Yeah, you guys see it, right? But I can't fucking see it.
I can't see it.
I don't see it.
Is it on the wall?
No, it's going down. And I still can't fucking see it.
Oh boy.
What the fuck? That was crazy as fuck. Hold on. So anybody that's watching this fucking podcast, that's watching the fucking video, yeah, Maya saw it. Thank you, Maya. She saw it. It fucking came down. Like, what the fuck just happened? It wasn't just me. Holy shit. Yeah, it was, and it was white. Yes, it was a white fucking spider. That fucking just crawled down.
Get out. Burn your whole house down.
Holy shit. No.
It has to be irradiated, and then it can bite you. Make sure it's radiated first, and then it bites you.
Before
like
it bites
kids
you. Yeah.
So now everybody in the chat room is like, they saw it. Yeah, because I was talking, I was like, what the fuck is behind me? It looked way bigger. It's probably a really small spider that just dropped down. But there's like a bunch of spiders that are like that same kind of spider that was... I'm in my garage, all right? And so like the other side of the garage, like there was like I didn't even notice for like weeks, but they were building like a whole fucking like nest behind my Peloton bike. I'm on motorcycles and on top of a whole bunch of like fucking pictures. And there was like, I was getting on the Peloton bike and I was like, what the fuck is behind me? There was like a whole fucking like crazy ass fucking spider webs. And I was like, where do those come from? I knocked one down and then like all of a sudden, like literally 10 fucking tiny spiders came out of nowhere. And y'all know me, I don't fucking like spiders. And I was like, what the fuck? So I need to spray behind there. Like all that, and apparently over here too, because they're like growing in there. Luckily, the infinity base is almost done. like literally, it's the floor is in, the paint's in, Everything's almost in, so I could probably move in probably tomorrow if I really wanted to. But I need to like work on the door lock. Anyway, what the fuck was I talking about before the spider? I'm sorry. Holy shit.
So you did that one.
Yeah, I did. That was me that did that shit. Fuck, I hate spiders, man. It was
so
about,
bad.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's all bad.
What was the
It's so
talk-
bad that he
I was-
saw it in his camera. So
Yeah,
it's
I
probably
saw it
not
in the
that
video.
small.
Yeah, I was looking at
Yeah,
the video of me
yeah.
talking, and I was like, "What is that behind me?"
Yeah.
It's still gone.
I'm just gonna mention on a super positive note to piggyback on what you were saying before the spider attack. My kids, I have 2 kids in elementary school. The history applications and books have gotten remarkably better, at least for all I know about is Hayward Public School right over here,
Okay.
in terms of teaching some things that are really more inclusive than what we experienced in the 80s and 90s. So that's a good sign. Is it everything? No, but a whole lot more than what we grew up with.
Yeah,
So,
and,
there you
and
go.
I don't. Yeah, the problem is that, I mean, the Hayward School District, I mean, if they're teaching a more complete history of America, that's awesome. But it's still coming down to, even with, your kids, there's still hidden history that's out there that people are not being taught. And that's a huge issue. And I don't like, that's what I was getting back to. Jesus Christ. White folks that don't understand the actual history of America, listen, it's not your fucking fault. It's by design here in America. It's to keep you not recognizing the problems with American society dealing with people of color. All right, it's to keep you pacified of not understanding what's going on. And every person that I've talked to, like literally everybody that's talked to me, they were just like, I didn't know that this was happening. I'm like, I get it. It's by design. This is how our society has kept going, is because they're hiding this history from you. And if you're asking, now I'm looking around my fucking screen for fucking spiders. Sorry. Now you understand that there's a problem in America, and you're reaching out to anybody. You're reaching out to me, great, because I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I'm not going to name names, but there is a guy that I respect immensely, and he was a special forces guy. All right, so he's way more badass than me. I am a Marine, but he was an Army Special Forces guy, and he was like, "Hey man, I would keep it short, but what can I do to help?" And I broke it down, what to basically educate yourself and then disseminate it to your other friends, especially your people that that are not people of color. Talk about what you saw in your education, or what you read through your education, and talk to them about them. Like, hey, what do you think about this? And that's how you end this. That's how you at least start the conversation to end this sort of fucking bullshit in America. And what's not helpful is I've seen a bunch of stuff on Facebook, and it was like, one of the main ones that I saw that made me angry was like, it was a headline of a white cop killed a white corrupt cop killed a black man, and then they crossed out the white and the black, and it's like, that's how you defeat racism. I'm like, no, that is not how you defeat racism. It's not even fucking close. Not even close. You need to understand why the Caucasian officer killed the black guy. You need to understand that, all right? You understand the history of that? That's how you fucking start. You need to educate yourself. You just crossing out the names of colors is not how you fucking defeat racism. Because that's not even recognizing racism. That perpetuates the problem. And if somebody says to me, like, hey, I don't see color. Yes, you do. Like, if you don't recognize color, if you don't see me, you don't see that I'm brown, then you don't see me at all. This is the most major organ on everybody's body is your skin. If you can't even understand the way my skin looks, then that's a problem. yes, my skin is different from yours. If you're, of European descent, is that a problem? No, it shouldn't be. But you should recognize that, yeah, we have different skin tones. That's a start. It's just recognizing that we look different. And then also recognize that even though we look different, we're still humans. I mean, that's a good start. That's a better start for me anyway. What do you guys think? I gotta look around for spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stitch, I do realize that you are colorblind, so I don't know if you can have this conversation with us.
Like literally colorblind.
I see you there. But you have to be able to have open conversations with people. It's funny because Kronos dropped off the GoPro that I gave to him to upload the video that we did, and me and Leela were actually having a discussion about, I forget what topic we were on it, but we were just like, I was explaining to her stuff about how, like for example, she didn't understand how some people, when they get into like an elevator with like a woman or sometimes it being a white woman, how they don't want to seem like they're following them on the elevator. So they make sure sometimes they'll put like a different button on a thing. And she was like completely sort of unaware of that aspect of that thing that people do. And I was like, for example, for me, and I was like, I did this like yesterday. I was like, I had to go to the ATM, and there was a lady who was there. There were like 2 ATMs there, and just happened to be this white lady that was there. I sat in my car and I waited because I didn't want. I just don't want to be a black man walking up to a lady, a older white lady, while she's at the ATM. Now I'm wearing a mask, and I don't want to put her on that like high level alert thing. And it's something that maybe she won't think anything of it, but it's just something that I've always done. Especially because sometimes even if I go to like an ATM like late at night and somebody else is there, it's like, all right, now I'm in a super fucked situation. Because if I go to the ATM by myself, and then let's say it's a girl or whatever, she might be a little bit on guard because now all of a sudden there's a black man approaching her while she's got money, even though I'm just trying to go to the ATM next to her. But then if I sit in my car, then that might trigger her to be alert because like it's like, all right, why is he waiting in the car now when there's an ATM right here next to me and stuff like that? I'm like, it's something that I just do all the time now, and it's just out of the courtesy that they might feel uncomfortable.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah, that's how I think everybody on this podcast might do something similar to that. Like, how do I put this? So, I've been in situations where people have skipped elevators with me, but I've also skipped elevators with people. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not the only one, right? It's like,
no. Here's the thing. To use a comic analogy, I think we all know what the real spidey senses are when you're around somebody that you don't even feel comfortable with. And you, like, for example, I used to ride BART to San Francisco and then walk a 1 mile trek every day. And regardless of color, there are people on public transit that I don't want to be anywhere fucking near.
Yeah.
And so when your spidey senses go off, I change trains.
Hold on, Prodigy, can you break that down a little bit better? So when you say the spider sense go off, like, explain like what you mean.
Yeah, okay. So spidey senses in terms of someone who looks like they're going to cause trouble, whether it's literally on the BART train, or it's someone who's going to rob someone, or it's someone who's going to make a loud ruckus of any kind, or just bother and harass people of any way. Your spidey senses are your awareness of something that has the potential to be dangerous, and sometimes I judge people, sometimes by how they look and smell, and say, you know what? I might change cars, because I have a look that maybe tells me, look or smell or whatever, that things might get a little hairy around you. Or maybe it's based on your behavior. And that's when my spidey senses go on.
Go ahead and I'll tell you my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say to kind of piggyback off of that, usually my warning flashes. Peter Tingle goes off when there's someone who's like going off about something that makes everyone else uncomfortable. For instance, I was on a train and there was a guy who was a Hispanic male. He had no shirt on, but he had a bunch of tats, which is not. This is not to say that he was a bad person. However, what he was talking about made me consider like, okay, now I need to understand, because he was talking about how he just got out of jail, how he felt like kind of fucking people up, how he used to fuck people up, and how he just wishes somebody would like step to him pretty much. So I'm just like, okay, now that this dude's very, very loudly talking about this, I'm going to avoid eye contact and possibly change cars or trains, because this guy could cause trouble based on the slightest like stimuli that he interprets to be a threat or whatever. Okay. So that kind of situation I avoid. There's also when you step on a train and there's someone just yelling at the seats, and there's literally no one in the seats, and they're yelling at the seats as if someone's there, and you're like, well, I'm going to avoid this person as well, because you don't know, they could get violent just by you sneezing or pulling out your phone or whatever. Anything can set them off. So those kind of situations I tend to avoid.
Let me give you the complete reverse of what you guys are talking about. This is what I was talking about. What you guys are talking about was totally valid. Yeah, all that shit definitely happens. What I'm talking about is when I am walking up to certain people or into an elevator and they look extremely uncomfortable, and I'm like, fuck that. I'm not even like entering that situation. I'm just gonna take the next whatever, the next fucking, I'll avoid you, I'll take the next elevator, or go to the next train car, or whatever the fuck. And this is, to me, is what is way more detrimental to, I think, a lot of people of color, that they don't even, this is what I realized recently, because I've done it fucking a lot. I'm just like, I can see that you're uncomfortable, and so I'll remove myself from this whole situation because you feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not the way that anybody should feel here in America. It really isn't. Just think about that. If somebody looks, I can't even like, Jesus Christ. Unless you're a person of color, you probably don't even, if you're a person of color, you probably, because Prodigy, you just said you understand, right? Everybody else, you understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm nodding my head. I completely agree.
You guys understand that shit. So if you're not brown, you might not get this, all right? But there's times where like you're walking up somewhere, you're entering any building or going in an elevator, where somebody like looks really uncomfortable with the way you look, and they're like, what the fuck? And I'm just like, I guess I'll make you feel more comfortable by not taking this thing, or not being in the same room as you, and I think that's, I'm like, hold on, Prodigy, I know you want to talk. Going forward, fuck that. I'm not doing that anymore. If you're uncomfortable with where the fuck I want to be, you can get the fuck out of there. Because I'm an American, I'm productive, I make a decent amount of money until, I guess, a couple of days from now, where I have to take a pay reduction. Apparently, for 4 fucking months. But, I'm a successful American, and just because the color of my skin or the way that I look, I have a beard now, but it didn't have a beard, I might be physically imposing, but I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not, and you assume that I'm intimidating because of the color of my skin. And going forward, I don't give a shit anymore. Eventually, when the Rona's over, when I'm going somewhere, I'm not gonna miss fucking elevators or move trains or seats. I'm not gonna do any of that shit. If you're not comfortable with the way that I look, fuck you. Fuck everything you're all about.
Like it.
Go ahead.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Sometimes I try to diffuse things with the shitty, cordial, hi, saying good morning or whatever. But
hold on.
No.
What Prodigy means is he has Fuda fucking videos on his fucking shit, and he's like, "Yo, you want to see this? It's got a dick and a pussy." Just saying.
Yeah. So
hide your wife, hide your kids.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sorry. Sorry. Say what you gotta say, man. Sorry.
I do want to point out really quickly.
Hold on. Let Prodigy say what he has to say, and then we'll get to you.
I thought he did.
No,
he wasn't.
I'm all good. I'm good.
You know? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So, your show, Blackish. I don't know if you saw the episode. Speaking of Prodigy, I don't know if you saw the episode where they saw the little kid on the elevator, and Anthony Anderson's character is like, "Well, there's a little white kid in the elevator. I'm not gonna get on this elevator because I'm going to avoid this situation." And like his boss sees him on the camera. He's like, "Why didn't you get on here with this little kid?" He's all, "You don't understand. A black dude, the little kid on this elevator, is all grounds for all kinds of tangent, all kinds of bad." And then his coworker, who's black, shows up. He's like, "Dude, did you see the little snowflake on the elevator? I had to take the stairs." Like, sometimes
it's a funny and real episode at the same time.
Yeah, I was just like, I mean, that's literally what we're talking about. I mean, I know the show does it in jest, but sometimes that kind of has to happen with us. Like, we have to adjust the way we are or where we're going to go because it makes other people uncomfortable, or we feel uncomfortable because we're afraid that we might get caught up on something.
Yeah,
so it's unfortunate.
I think that's what like a lot of people don't understand is that if you're a person, if you're from European descent and you feel uncomfortable and we see it, listen, we're uncomfortable too, that you're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's why hopefully what I explained to you, you'll understand that, but it's like the look in your face and you're just like, you look so uncomfortable, like you're not hiding it. You know what I mean? I can tell that you're uncomfortable. It's like, listen, I'm not gonna fucking rob you. I have money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, one of my old time buddies. He's been on this show, especially on the Better Than MJ and Kobe cast a couple times. Is Big Game James. James is a 6'5", 300+ pound black man with a beard, dark skinned black man with a beard.
He's a gentle dude,
and he's gentle. He wears Brooks Brothers suits and like preppy shit, but there's a difference between when he and I are hanging out together, how people act around him and how they even act around me. Both black men.
Yeah.
But they're just like, they're visibly intimidated by him. And James usually goes out of his way to be as cordial as possible. He doesn't, show them the food like I do, but it's a very interesting dynamic.
And the insane part is I literally weigh half of what James weighs, right?
Yep.
But I could kill somebody way easier than James can kill somebody. Like, it's probably not even in his like repertoire. Is like physical violence.
No.
But for me, it's
he's
like for a good portion of my life, violence was like my thing. Even to this day, like I train in violence, but James doesn't. He's a gentle guy, and he's a good dude. But just because of the way he looks, they assume that he's more intimidating than I am, and we're the same. He's darker than me, but that shouldn't matter at all. But because he's bigger than me and brown, people will be like, oh, well, he's, he can do whatever. But it's like, and he's also, what's even more hilarious is that he's also more on like their side. Not even theirs. I don't know. How can I politely say this? Prodigy, help me out here, man.
James is a pseudo conservative.
Yes, thank you.
And a Christian conservative in a lot of ways. I don't think he'd mind that classification in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Really?
So,
Big James is conservative?
Oh,
I've met the guy. I've met him twice, I think. And the conversations I had with him, I didn't think he'd be conservative. But you never know.
He's very
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's we have fun conversations. Literally, I talk to that man every other day. You know, guys, we got to wrap this up though.
Do we?
I don't want to cut it.
We went 3 hours and 45 fucking minutes the other fucking couple of weeks ago. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we did.
No, but if you want to cut it short, you got shit to do. It's all good.
He wants to get to his footage. It's all good. But really quickly with the Bart stories, shout out to Uncle Ray. Uncle Ray is a friend of the podcast. He can literally write a blog or maybe even a movie with his Bart stories. Shout out to Uncle Ray because he did some real stuff out there and he's been on it for I think 2 decades. So
yeah,
so
he's out in Pittsburgh now.
Before we end, I think there's a couple things that we have not talked about that we should talk about, and part of it has to do with President Trump about trying to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma on Juneteenth.
Oh yeah,
which is fucking bullshit because you know he's trying to go there on Juneteenth to a site where we had. If you ever watched any person that's watched Watchmen, the HBO series, the beginning of that show should tell you why that was a real event. All right, the bombing of Black Wall Street was a real event in American history. If you don't believe me, do your research, but that was a real thing, you know, where the U.S. government decided to bomb a black neighborhood for having money, and they stole from them. They stole all their shit, and Jesus Christ. I've been listening to some of Malcolm X's like speeches recently. I finally heard a valid argument to reparations, and it's from historical speeches and
historical document.
Wow.
Yeah, and I understand. For me, I still don't totally agree, but I understand the argument now. I can at least understand.
Is this the 40 acres and a mule argument?
No, not 40 acres and a mule, because he didn't specifically say that from what I listened to, but it was saying how basically all of America is based upon the free labor of slavery, and African Americans have not profited from that at all. However, European Americans have to this day. Not all of them, but definitely 100% certain families have. And they have continued to profit off of the free labor that they've gotten from slavery. And the fact that you are not willing to at least pay back certain monetary values to African Americans for providing America free labor, all right, from building up this country is a problem. And it's also, what's hilarious to me is that the reason why, one of the main reasons why that the Confederacy lost the war is because they relied too much on slave labor, and they didn't innovate, and they didn't. Prodigy, go ahead, speak on it, because you know about this more than I do.
No, it's all. I just appreciate. First of all, I love this time period with the Civil War, and I appreciate the fact that from a military standpoint,
they fucked themselves.
The South had a decent strategy for most of it. They won a lot of different battles, you know, but not having the operational wherewithal with having so much dependency on
no railroad tracks, not a lot of roads.
But and not being as industrious as the North in terms of factories. And then the other thing too is we always think about it as isolated war that didn't have any foreign involvement. Bull fucking shit. The French and the British did have involvement on
the French helped us
in terms of resources going over.
And the Canadians were slightly involved too. There's like small pockets like a lot of people forgot that the Canadians towards the border, they were stockpiling and also like helping with armaments.
You know what we should do? I mean, listen, to be honest with you guys, we should do a podcast on just like this. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's difficult for me to say this. Listen, we're a nerdy podcast, and we've gotten You know, obviously positive. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback from like our recent podcast, but you know, I'm trying to get back to like the nerdy shit. But also, there's like a lot of historical shit that has to do with us that I feel like we should maybe separate. I don't fucking know. Please let us know either on
feedback.
Twitter, on BThenBTI@gmail.com. However the fuck, if you want to hear more about this shit, we'll talk about it on a normal podcast. But I'm willing to separate these sorts of issues from the normal podcast just to like, I guess, keep sanity.
Go deeper. Yeah, and go deeper.
Yeah,
I would
love to go deeper.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this really quickly. I promise you, you guys watch that The Five Bloods movie? Next week we're going to have a discussion that's going to involve a lot of this.
Well, did you watch?
I
did
plan
you watch?
on watching it.
I'm gonna watch it this week.
I'm gonna try to watch it this weekend.
But did you watch 13th?
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh
you're
Jesus.
Oh, I did, but did everybody else?
Yeah, I watched 13th.
No, I still
I
haven't
have to watch it.
seen it.
So anybody right now that asks me about like what can I do, anybody that's like European American, like what can I do to help? I'm like, listen, educate yourselves, and like the first thing I say is like watch 13th, and that's like that's like your starting block. Like watch that, you should understand where the issue started. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because they tried to free us, but then they fucked us.
And even when they see us, which was a Golden Eggplant nominee by Ava as well, it literally happened in our lifetime, and that gets into a lot of this. It's a 4-part or 5-part drama, but that was extremely powerful and exceptional. So there's a lot to learn.
Prodigy, you know what's crazy is like when you say like in our lifetime, but when you talk about the 13th, that was in our parents' lifetime. So this is the problem that I have about like when Americans say like, "Oh, it was a long time ago." Fucking no, it wasn't. You know, like when you talk about like the civil rights movement, that was in the 60s. That was in your parents' lifetime.
Yep.
I was born in 1979. Like that wasn't too long ago from the goddamn 60s. And my parents had to fight for these fucking rights. They bled for these rights. They did all these things, and I think that people they're like fucking goldfish. But I mean, like I said before, sorry, I was starting to get angry, but it's because it was covered up, and part of it has to do with like our schooling. Because when we go to school, they don't teach you this shit, and it's a huge disservice. That's why I don't. Anybody that comes to me that messages me privately, and they're like, I have all these questions. I'm like, listen, I get it. Like they lied to all of us, and I have a leg up on you, but I don't know everything. I'm learning just like you, But what I can tell you is like my own personal experience, what I've learned so far. But I'm not gonna blame you, especially when you're asking me questions about this shit. So anybody that's listening to this, ask me any. I'm not gonna call you racist for asking me a question. I'm not.
Yeah.
And what bothers me is that I've had people that have come to me and been like, listen, I asked somebody else that was a person of color, and they got mad and they tried to fight me about this. Yeah. Anybody that's listening to this, if you're brown and somebody asks you a question about like your personal experience about racism, answer them honestly. If you are in a fight mentality, you're not helping anybody. You're actually detrimental to this whole movement of not trying to. If a person that is European American, if you can't explain to them your experience and how to feel your pain, they're never going to understand what the fuck is going on right now. Never, ever, ever. And I'm thankful that I'm a friend of the same person that somebody else was like, fuck you. And they reach out to me. Because I'll explain to you. Like, listen, I'm not going to call you racist. I'll answer your question as best to my ability. But the other person, you're part of the fucking problem. Explain to them. They need to understand your fucking pain. Because we're going through pain. And if you can't explain your pain, then how the fuck do you expect for them to be on your side? They can't be an ally to you if you can't explain to them what the fuck you're going through. I hope through this whole podcast, I hope that that's like the main thing that you understand. explain to them what you're going through, and just give them to them honestly.
Communicate.
Yeah, communicate.
Yeah, communication is key. I'm with you. Stitch, you were on mute. Did you want to jump in?
No, I just had to. Magneto wanted to be let out and all kinds of stuff, so I was just put it on mute so you wouldn't hear him.
He tried to eat me earlier, by the way. He was trying to get me. That was weird earlier, by the way. How I went to your house and didn't get to see you.
All good.
Yeah, well, I can confirm you are alive. You aren't like a.
All right. I think we're at a good point.
Go ahead.
He's trying to end it. He's saying we did it for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it. We got Last of Us to play.
I know, apparently. I got next week.
That's all bad. That's all bad. Playing this weekend.
Yeah.
We'll take. Well,
all right, old Ninja, what you got? Old Ninja, what you got popping this week?
So I need to see this movie with Spike Lee's film. I haven't seen Delroy Lindo and a lot of stuff. He got fucked out of a Marvel property, which is all bad. But it's good to see him back. So I really want to see this. Also, even though Blue's not here, me and him were watching Stargirl, which actually is pretty freaking good on the CW. We hadn't had a chance to go over it. I know he's been dying to talk about it. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on there. Last of Us 2, I didn't get a chance to pre-order, but I'm going to try to do that sneaky shit where if you get there before 6, you can technically pre-order and still pick it up by 9. I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to try to watch 13 as well. And then, even though we haven't talked about it, because Blue's not here again, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s been back for a few weeks. So their episode's on tonight, so I'm probably going to watch that later. Playing some Gears, Modern Warfare, Last of Us, and that's about it.
Stitch, what you got?
Pretty much just chilling. Play some Call of Duty. I popped in Tomb Raider, the most recent one, because I got these PS Platinum headsets and everything. Mine were going out on me, so I got these nice ones. They have the 3D audio on these. However, some games aren't really compatible with it. They sound fucking amazing. Like it's so unreal. But a couple of the games do have the 3D audio, and you can like tell the difference when it's a game that was, I guess, mapped for the 3D audio with the actual headsets. It makes everything sound like it's coming from above your head and shit like that.
Hold on, I gotta ask you a question though. You're colorblind, aren't you? Like hearing blind too? I mean, how do you know where it's coming from?
Oh man!
I don't know how you can be blind to hearing.
Yeah, I thought you can only hear color when you take LSD.
But I do know that I've gotten past the first boss in Bloodborne.
Oh no!
I did too.
We're not doing it.
So did I.
Why you gotta do that?
But Prodigy wants to pretend that he's the best gamer ever, but he's not. I'm just saying. He knows I'll fuck him up.
Why?
That's why I can answer the question.
Why you gotta do it? Why you do that?
I can fuck him up in fucking checkers, chess, goddamn video games, fucking tiddlywinks. Marbles. I don't give a fuck.
What do you have going on this week?
That's so terrible.
I like how professional you are right there. You just ignored everything I said. Thank you very much for being professional. Prodigy is
I'm not
a
taking that
professional.
bait.
What's up? No, it's all good. I'm just bullshitting, but I am better. I'm just saying.
God,
listen. I'm just glad that I'm alive, to be honest with you, and I have my family, my kids. I miss all of you. To be honest with you, it was it was hard for me. So I went to Stitch's house today, and I dropped off a GoPro. So if y'all didn't know, this is some behind the scenes shit right now. I'll keep it brief. But the real Black History lesson that the podcast that you guys did with Prodigy's mom, it was recorded on a GoPro, and Stitch had to drop it off in a plastic bag, and on my porch. I didn't get to see him,
Mm-hmm.
And, I picked it up and, I desanitized it because I had to be fucking safe. And, I did all the things and got it out there. And then today I dropped it off because I wanted to drive my car. And I dropped it off. I couldn't even fucking see him. I saw his dog barking at me.
Damn.
And then I was like, I got to go because this is fucking crazy times. And I live with somebody at risk. And also, Stitch has a young kid, fucking baby.
Yep.
So it's just like, we can't fuck around, So I drove out to Livermore for lunch and drove back home, dropped off, drove back home. And it's like, these are my boys that I can't fucking see.
Yeah.
Like this whole podcast, we're all like good friends. And the fact that we can't see each other is
super weird.
It's very super weird. Like somebody asked me, I think earlier today, was like, you haven't gone out at all? I'm like, not really. Like literally, I've had interactions, like my interaction circle is literally 4 fucking people. It's my girlfriend, my youngest daughter, and then my 2 in-laws. That's my entire social circle right now. I can't even see my oldest daughter right now. I can't.
Damn.
Because she would have to fly here, and then it'd be a problem.
Yeah.
So everybody that's out there is like not taking it seriously. That's how seriously that I take it. And I think that pretty much everyone in this podcast has been taking this because we haven't seen each other. And for us to not see each other every week, it's so fucking weird. Because that's like our thing. Like we get to...
It's actually weird.
Yeah, we get to see each other every week.
To be real, there was a time where I was like, we have to do the podcast. I was about to like pack up and get in my car. I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, it was so part of the routine, but I had to like pull myself back and be like, dude, we're still in Rona stage 1.
Yeah.
Well, be honest though, old ninja. You were suspended for the bullshit that you pulled on the podcast.
As you know what? As many times as you've been suspended off of everything that you touched, I'm not that distraught.
Well, I'll tell you something else I was weird that I noticed today that I didn't tell Stitch. That I was rolling up to your house, and I pulled up behind Lilo's car, her SUV.
The cobwebs?
SUV. Yeah, it was like cobwebs. I was like, holy shit. Like, and that, honestly, like, K-Mac's car, it hasn't been driven in like a month, like more than a month. And it's just like, that's like how crazy things are right now. Like, and also, what the fuck's up with the house that's next to you? Like, it's like falling apart.
Yeah, I don't. The lady's
like, what the fuck?
I had no idea. That lady's crazy. I just hope that when it catches on fire, it doesn't fucking burn up.
I pulled up and I was like,
oh my god.
You have no siding in your house. Like, what the fuck is going on right here? Your house is fine, but I was like, a couple of houses like around you, I was just like, you guys just like, I guess fuck the siding and just like live, like, what the fuck?
I have no idea. I live next door to some crazy fucking people.
Yeah, well, stay safe. Anyway, everybody else listening to this podcast, y'all stay safe. Stay away from crazy motherfuckers. Let's get back to, real American values, not these bullshit white supremacy values that have been perpetuated through centuries here in America. We should all respect each other if we earn respect, all right? Respect is earned, all right? Treat each other with human dignity unless somebody treats you otherwise, and let's go forward. Like, I think as a society, we need to move forward, and let's stop talking about bullshit and just move forward.
Yeah.
You make it so fucking hard for me to like talk about weeb shit after that, but I'm still gonna say I'm gonna watch more One Piece this week, goddamn it, and try to become a
Pirate Kings and shit.
You know what's funny?
Man.
It's finally on Netflix, at least the first 4 arcs. So you can check it out on there.
Nobody's gonna do that shit.
If not, yeah, give it a shot. I do love it. I'm watching it with my kids as well.
Prodigy. Are you gonna watch One Piece, or are you gonna watch 13th, or the Five Bloods? I'm just priorities. I'm just saying.
I do both. I see both. I stay up late.
You
I
saw
got
both. So
insomnia.
what's priority? Is it Pirate Kings or learning about what's going on with America?
Well, don't make me choose. I'm
Damn.
sorry. Anyway,
Hey, aren't you afraid of water? Like, what the hell? Trying to be on a boat?
God damn. You and Mishka have been roasting me.
Oh, yeah.
Around my house, I tell people, "Hey, I'm gonna be the Pirate King. I'm gonna be the Pirate King."
Hold on.
And Mishka's
I-
like,
I-
"Oh, but you get
I'm
motion.
gonna bounce
You
real
get motion
quick because the baby's making noise or whatever. But yeah, I just didn't want to just cut out. But baby's making noise. I
No
just
worries.
heard.
Go ahead, say
no
So
worries.
I'll bounce.
Go ahead. All right, hold
No
on.
worries. I was just
Hold
gonna
on, Prodigy, real quick. I gotta tell you. You gotta tell Mishka this, all right? So, I got sort of excited the other day because Mishka said that she had to get picked up from the Honda dealership around the corner. I was like, I'll
Oh,
pick her
yeah.
up. I was like, holy shit, I can do human interaction again with the mask on, just to drive you 2 miles. And then she was like, nah,
Yeah.
we don't need you. I was like, oh,
Damn.
all right. I was like, all right.
Yeah, it turned out the car was fine.
Yeah, 2 Leos.
But
Go ahead.
she was giving me shit just to make sure everybody's on the same page with what Old Ninja was saying. She's been giving me shit because I keep talking about One Piece, and that's obviously a pirate and not a nautical fucking show. And she reminds me that every time I've been on a fucking boat, I've gotten seasick like a motherfucker. Like quickly, puking Colin Roy off the side. And Old Ninja reminded me that when we were in San Diego at the Comic-Con, we were on a stationary fucking boat for no more than 30 minutes, and my ass was
not
Colin
even
Roy
30 minutes.
immediately.
Shit. Bro,
Not even 30.
I spent
Your ass was having flashbacks. You thought we were gonna get kidnapped, end up in Ghana or something, or end up in some kind of slave tent. You're like, dude, I have to get off here. You were sweating. I was like, and it was at night. It was literally at night. You were sweating. I'm like, are you all right? He's like, nah. So we gotta go. We gotta go. And we literally walked 2.5 miles just to get to this clipper ship.
Could you imagine
And
spending?
we were there for maybe 30 minutes. Maybe not even that.
I
You
spent.
couldn't deal with it.
I spent
It was
8
all
months
bad.
on a boat, and it was great. Because
Yeah.
you know what? This is. I don't get seasick. Obviously, if you get seasick, I don't understand what that's like. But for me, when I was on boat, I was on float. Is that when my bunk was facing forward, like my feet were facing forward, so when the boat would rock, it was like I was getting rocked to sleep. And so,
There you go.
but I also worked, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I worked from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Like every day for a very long time. But yeah, I get it. I had people on float with me that got. I had one guy. It was this white dude. I felt so bad for him. I forget his fucking name. Doesn't matter. But this dude, he stunk all the time. But he showered all the time. But he was seasick the entire time. Could you imagine being seasick for 8 fucking months?
No.
And you also
That's-
stunk?
lose so much weight.
Holy shit!
Oh.
Well, that's when I lost weight. I literally lost. I went from around 200 pounds to like 168 because I would eat like 500 calories a day because the food was so
Yeah.
shitty. Anyway, we gotta end this. Sorry.
Let's take it out. Old Ninja, take us out.
You just experienced Black and Black times infinity. Check us out on the internet, everywhere online with @BThanBTI. That's BTHAN_BTI. Check us out on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, SoundCloud, Radio Republic, Spotify, and I think that's it. Oh, and then on Amazon, we have an app on there. Check out our official website, BitHeadProductions.com/BThanBTI.
Awesome. Skeet Skeet. Talia Al Ghul is a date rapist.
Be careful of those slave ships.